The Jay Thomas Show. Sirius 108 and XM 139. This is The Jay Thomas Show. The interesting, the odd, and the bizarre people behind the, interesting. The odd and bizarre stories. Jay gets in it, stirs it up, and spits it out. He's a professional. It's all here on The Jay Thomas Show with Rodney Lee Conover, Julie, Madison, Kevin Meaney, Garrett and Christina, and Ira the Weatherman. This is The Jay Thomas Show.
Ira was going to do something. Check the microphone.
Good afternoon, Jay. Testing 1, 2.
Garrett, I told you that 2 minutes ago. How do you forget something in 2 minutes?
Because the phones blew up, and I was in call with them about that.
You know what? You really are. You're like one of these people that goes, hey, didn't I this thing happened. And in the middle of, yeah, I heard you, but I couldn't do it because this other thing happened. Are you kidding? I was good. I was just about to do it, and then, did you hear about that thing that happened? Really? Oh, yeah. That's what you just did. The phones just blew up, and I had to work. And you got, bitchy on me, too. Like, ooh, whoa, like that. How about my day? I was up at 4 o'clock, drove to Los Angeles, appeared on television, drove back, and here I am again, okay? You don't hear me going, whoa, I had to drive back and forth all day. Don't talk to me now. Here's my favorite. I got up early. I made the kids breakfast. I can't talk right now. Get him off the microphone. Get his ass
I can't hit my...
Get him off the microphone. Get him back off the thing. All right. So, Shirley will be coming in just a little while. Are the phones down? Are they really?
Yeah.
Broken? Oh, wow. What happened?
I don't know.
Going to get somebody in there?
The phones blew up for everyone.
We got wet wires.
Kevin Meaney sent me a picture of the two women from Chicago. They are cute. They look Muslim, though, don't they?
I'm pulling up right now.
They look like they have... their normal hair look like hijabs. Is that what those things are called? Hijabs? You know what's great about the phones being down? I can make all sorts of mistakes and people can't call up and go, it's not a hijab, it's a hijab, or whatever, I can mispronounce things. I say one wrong thing, phone. By the way, this woman golfer the other day, now listen to this one. This is why golf is so stupid. She is a Hall of Fame golfer. Have you heard about this one, Garrett? The Hall of Fame woman?
I heard one female golf story, but I don't think this is going to be the same one.
The disqualification?
No, mine's a lot more sad.
Oh, the woman that killed herself?
Yeah.
Not sad. Not sad.
Pills and suffocation. That's a...
No, well, the way she killed herself, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but let's go to this other one. So, let's say you're watching any sporting event, and I don't know which one I could imagine. Let's say you're watching hockey and you see offsides, okay? Mm-hmm. And a goal is scored. And I text, I don't know how they even get to the people. I don't even know how they do it. I text you or I call the network or something. They call down to the floor of the rink and they go, hey, Jay Thomas in Ontario saw offsides by the Flyers, so that goal doesn't count. And they call up the ref, right? They go, hey, man, this guy Jay Thomas saw something, and we looked back in the thing, and, guy was offsides. Goal doesn't count. They stop the game. They take the goal away, okay? Imagine if that happened. Imagine. If I saw a guy holding on that last play. All right. They call down and go, take the 3 points off the board. That field goal's no good, and move it back. Impossible, right? Can't happen.
Remember the one that didn't affect any outcome, but NBC was putting fake bird sounds into their golf show or tournament, whatever they were.
They put fake bird sounds in there?
And some guy heard the bird call and knew that bird wasn't indigenous to that area.
How many times do you think that guy's been laid?
None.
And he called up and complained, and it was a big story about how NBC...
This is my favorite way Shuley enters the show. He's an hour late. You know how many times that guy get laid?
Oh, do we start at 2?
Yeah, we do. No, 3, you big idiot. So listen, I'm talking about this golf thing, right? You know, this woman, Shuley, I'm saying that if you pick any sport and somebody calls up, first of all, I don't know how they get to the main people. I don't know how they do it, right? Like, let's say somebody wanted to complain about our show right now. They would call the front desk. They would complain. Then the woman at the front desk would have to try and find somebody that runs this place. Right?
I want to complain that you assume it's going to be a woman at the front desk. What do you think of that?
Whatever. Whoever it is, you know, whatever, a gay man is at the front desk, whatever it is. And then they would come in and they would stop the show and say, now look, a few minutes ago, you know, we heard the phones didn't work, but they are working. And, you know, whatever, right? So there's a rain delay, or there's not a rain delay, but there's like a long delay at a golf tournament. And 2 or 3 foursomes or whatever are kind of stacked up, and it's a LPGA event. So this woman who is a Hall of Famer, I don't know if it's Jill Inkster or not, I don't know who it is. It might be Jill Inkster. She picks up, you know what, you ever see a weighted club? It has like a little weight on the end of it. And you just pick it up and it keeps you warm.
Yeah, right. Almost like a donut on the back.
Yeah,
right.
like exactly. So she's standing by the tee box, and there's a weighted club, you know, nearby, and she gets it, and she, you know, is waiting, and she just, you know, takes 3 or 4 practice swings with the weighted club. Somebody watching called the network and said, according to the United States Golf Association rules, during a tournament, in the middle of play, you cannot swing a practice club. And she was disqualified from the tournament.
That's bullshit.
Is that nuts? And of course, what is she going to say? They go get her out on the course. And they go, oh, you know, you're out. Get off the course.
Is that worse than the PGA, the last tournament, whatever it was, the Masters or the...
What did they say to that guy? What did he do?
He hit the ball into where the crowd was standing.
And they called that a sand trap.
Yes.
They called it a trap.
But the thing is, the first rule on the rule sheet was there's like 12,000 sand traps, and everyone's a trap. There's no waste areas or anything. So he grounded his club, and they
you can't touch the club. Yeah. Well, okay, so at least there was a sign somewhere. He didn't read the sign, right?
Yeah.
That guy. Now, he was leading the tournament at one point.
He was in the lead. Yeah, he needed a...
He could have lost. Now, he didn't lose it because of that, but he could have. I mean, I have to tell you, this turning people in... Now, here's the other thing. Had the camera not been on him, no one would have known that was the rule.
No.
Some member of the club knew it was the rule. That's... What sort of person does that? Knowing full well that if you get through to the network or whatever, you're going to ruin somebody's, you know, round of golf or ruin their career or whatever. They've got to start naming these bastards that do this stuff. They've got to find them. They really do. You know, hey, you know, just the other day, I think I paid extra so that no one can find my name and address and stuff off of a website. You know this, or off the email. Boy, I'll tell you. Now, am I wrong about this? Hold on. Could we not become billionaires, and has it not been done? Now, Shuley, telephone directory for cell phones. Why hasn't anybody done that?
I don't think anyone's gotten high enough to think of that.
I don't quite... Like, if I wanted to call you 5 years ago, I'd look up in the phone book and you'd probably have a house phone, right?
Right.
Or you would be unlisted.
Right.
But if I want to find someone now, there's no way to find it. I mean, I guess you can go online and do it, right? But you can't call a number and say, Shuley, Egghead, what's your last name?
Egghead's fine.
Egghead. Shuley Egghead, please, and they give me the number. That's weird, isn't it?
Is that Mr. Egghead or Mrs.?
Oh, no, then you get somebody in India.
I'm sorry.
Stop that. I stopped the laughing. I want the laughing stopped. All right. Shuli, by the way, this...
I am in the ha-ha chair today.
Right, well, you stay there.
I'm in Kevin Meaney's chair.
Is there anything in it?
No, nothing whatsoever.
So Kevin Meaney sends a picture of him on a roller coaster.
What is he, a 14-year-old girl?
Well,
I guess so, yeah.
Then he sends a 10 years old.
Then he sends
a roller coaster.
And he sends a picture of himself with these two women that he met at a club, and on both pictures they ruin the moment. His picture ruins the moment of the thing. This guy, and you know what I'm afraid of? He's got the young, Broadway dancer boyfriend. I'm afraid that when that guy drops him, we're going to have to prop Kevin up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy. We're going to have to hang with him, okay? He's a part of our team now, part of our family, So, Garrett, the woman golfer killed herself a few weeks ago or a month or so ago, and it took him all this time.
I thought it was a few days ago. Or
no,
it happened a while ago, and
they autopsied her. But the thing is that they could not believe she did what she did to herself, and that's why they waited so long. She took a plastic bag and she put it around her own neck, and she sat there until she was dead. Oh. Now, I got to tell you, I could put a plastic bag in my head and try and be miserable. I'm not going to sit there till I'm dead. Isn't there a moment where you pull the bag off?
Yeah, usually when somebody calls you at some point. I mean, obviously there's nothing going on in her life. No fun.
But I would go, I would be pulling that thing off in 2 seconds. As soon as I felt real pain.
It's like trying to drown yourself. Yeah.
They could not believe that she did it.
Like a guy setting himself on fire, and then all of a sudden he's like, it's hot! Is it? Well, of course it's hot. You're on fire, stupid. It's what you wanted to do.
Like when the guys kill themselves and then they scream. What's the use of screaming if you made the decision to kill yourself?
Yeah, just fucking take it like a man.
Oregon State University is minus a large 300-pound lineman. Tyler Patrick Thomas has been kicked off the team.
I love his movies.
He was found naked and intoxicated in a stranger's home near the Oregon State campus. They were called early Sunday morning. When they came in, he was asleep, and they aroused him. He got up, and he would not leave, and they stun-gunned him, okay? Then they ordered him on the ground. He got down in a 3-point stance and began blocking the police.
What? I'm dying to know, what do you drink to get like that?
No, but can you imagine? They go, okay, get down. He gets down a 3-point stance and he charges them. He thought he was in a game, He is done. I tell you what.
But what a way to go out. What a way to go out. It's not like hit somebody with a car or anything. He didn't kill anybody innocent.
No, he did not. They stunned him. Here's what's crazy is...
First he stunned them by being naked, then they stunned him.
It was on Perez Hilton. That's where I saw this little thing. And then I'm reading some of the comments.
What's that guy's deal?
A redneck totally naked, drunk, totally naked. A college kid totally naked, well-muscled.
He's a weird dude. He he'll post pictures of people and then draw cum on their face in the picture. And it's just like, really? That's what the internet's all about these days?
Laverne Johnson, who was on our Howard 101 show on Friday.
She sends her regards to
That's right, Ira.
And the daughter sends regards.
Ira, can I be honest with you? She teaches people. Her book is called Fellatio, the Forbidden Foreplay, The Art of Romancing the Cock.
That is right.
Ira, they're not so nice, those people.
They are wonderful.
No, Ira.
No,
Ira, put him on the microphone real fast, please. Ira, listen.
Jay.
Oh, there you go.
If you ever want to see her, she is superb.
She's superb. But
yes.
She talks about putting a man's penis in her mouth, that's not generally considered a nice person.
You don't hear Christina talking about that stuff.
Can I
No,
tell
you
you
sure
one
don't.
thing?
You don't hear anybody. Do you hear
This
Garrett talking
book
about it? I don't.
that
I heard
she
Garrett talking about
has
Yes.
is gonna go places.
Right. One of
It
them
is.
is the trash.
Well, I want to thank you, said Laverne Johnson, for inviting me and Taikisha, my daughter, on your show Friday. Garrett and your other employees were so gracious, so polite, and made our visit very comfortable. Thank you for introducing my book, Fellatio, The Forbidden Foreplay, The Art of Romancing the Cock. I had over 5,000 hits to my website. The only problem was that day my website had a glitz.
Oh,
Glitz, not a glitch, but a glitz.
I hate when that happens.
I was unable to retrieve my information, so give it out again. Laverne Johnson, 73 at yahoo.com. Is that how she
That's
wants
her
it?
email, yeah. Or fellatioqueen.com, 2 L's in fellatio.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't have to.
She's like a princess.
Yeah.
Ira, she puts men's penises in her mouth. That's
I don't
not
remember
considered-
Cinderella doing that.
I don't even. Ariel, you ever see Ariel do that?
No.
I wasn't there for the interview, but I'm getting the impression that she's romanced Ira's.
No, that's the
No?
weird thing.
No.
Or at least that's what.
Friends
Really?
don't do friends.
You're very
Friends
passionate
don't
about
do
her.
friends. Ira just.
What's the point in being friends?
Yeah. You mean friends don't go down on friends?
That is right.
Okay, I didn't even know that was a rule.
She's a darling person, Jay.
Yes.
I wish when you come in for the holidays or whenever,
That she would blow you.
I would bring Laverne and daughter back up.
Can you talk a little more slowly, please?
I would bring Laverne and her daughter back.
Slow it down.
All right.
It's too fast.
Slower again, please. A little slower.
I would bring them both
You're going
up.
faster.
Bring them both
Up.
up
Pause.
to the studio.
Thank you.
Perfect.
It was Erica Blasberg who killed herself in her Nevada home, and she's good looking. And now wait a minute. Now they say it's a suicide.
The one
But-
picture with the bag on her head is not that hot, though.
They issued a warrant for her doctor, who
Oh, he got busted for
he got there early. He knew she was upset.
Didn't he throw away the suicide note?
Yes, he
Smart.
Comes back. Yeah,
Real
he comes
smart.
back.
I don't want to get
And
in
then
trouble, so let me hide this suicide note that would clear me of any wrongdoing.
Well, who knows what the suicide note said?
I hate my doctor. He made me do this.
They detected several prescription drugs in her system for a headache, a cough, pain, anti-anxiety. Asphyxia was the primary cause, but she had a bunch of drugs in her system. I guess she couldn't lift her arms. I don't know. Michael Douglas. Now, I want to tell you, I am going to side with the woman on this one. Michael Douglas is being sued. Well, I'm going to let you guys decide. When he had a contentious divorce right here in Santa Barbara with, I believe her name is Deandra Douglas. Contentious divorce. And I believe they have the son together that's in jail for the heroin or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So they had a rough time. So she gets a ton of money from him, but she gets half. Now, I'm going to read out of the... Here it is. The former couple's multi-million-dollar divorce decree gives Deandra Douglas the right to share in proceeds from spin-offs and other projects related to work that Michael Douglas did while they were married. She has collected $6.5 million since they've been divorced, just on half of his, rerun, spin-offs, whatever, right? He does a new movie, and the new movie is called Wall Street. And it's got some other thing behind it, right?
Yeah.
That's a spin-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they're in court, and he says it isn't a spin-off. He says that she doesn't deserve the money. Well, why is he in? I mean,
That's like saying the porno Romancing the Bone has nothing to do with Romancing the Stone.
that's right.
That's not going to hold up in court.
Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps is set to open September 24th. Now, he has hired a woman attorney, which is what they always tell the guy to do, hire a woman attorney. And her name is, I got to get these attorneys correct, Douglas's lawyer, her name is Chinchnitz. Chinitz.
I think we just created a hate crime.
Chinnitz. Her name is Chinnitz. She goes, when is this going to stop? This is her quote.
When is
She's not Mrs. Michael Douglas anymore. And then she paused. She went, she's Ms.
Ah.
So she said she's Ms. But her name is Deandra Douglas, right?
Right.
It's time for Ms. Douglas to move on and let Mr. Douglas enjoy his life without having to concern himself with someone trying to claw back money. Now, Deandra Douglas has her own lawyer, and her lawyer's name is Nancy Kimtob.
Awful names for lawyers.
Chemtob. Oh, my God.
For anybody, really.
Ms. Kimtob. Man. Now Michael Douglas says that this dispute belongs in Santa Barbara. Boy, oh boy, I hope he comes back, because, I'll go right to the courtroom and I'll start reporting.
Oh,
You know what I'll do? I'll become the court, what do you call it?
Stenographer?
The guy that
The sketch artist.
The sketch artist is what I'll do.
Yeah. It'd just
And
be
I'll
all
put them
stick.
up every day. That's
It'd be
right,
stick figures.
All of them. Phones look like they're working at 888-4-102-102. Mark of San Diego. Yes, Mark, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Jay? Hey,
Good, man.
Smart.
Hey, Mark. In
What's
San
up,
Diego,
Ira?
it's around 74 degrees.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Hey.
Mark.
Nothing like
Hey,
being
Jay.
told the temperature where you are. Okay, go ahead, Mark.
Jay, what kind of golf balls you playing nowadays?
I've been using these Strixons.
Strixon?
Yeah.
Shit. What about drinking? You drink on the golf course?
I sure do.
How could you play that game without drinking?
I have a little wild turkey with soda and just a little shot of 7-Up in a very tall to-go cup. Yeah.
How about Shuley? Shuley, you play or you off the grass?
No,
I played 3 times my whole life. Once was miniature golf. The other 2 times I only played because we had a cart, and the second time I got so stoned that I crashed it into the back of my friend's cart. And at about the 11th hole, a woman caught up to us, completely out of breath, saying, "Could you please put the flags back in the hole when you're done?"
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were a mess.
All right, lastly, Jay, what's it going to take to get rid of Kevin Meaney?
I love Kevin Meaney. Are you kidding?
Oh, man, you work so hard when he's in there, man. Got to get rid of him.
Really? All right. Thank you, Mark. Thanks.
How
very
would you
much.
like me to do the show full time?
Always, every day, Ira, every day.
Oh, thank you. That's number 1, Jay. I got
right.
the first
All right.
fan.
I'm marking it.
Number 1.
Thank you.
Okay.
I sort of
They
wish the
wanna
phones
sue
were
me.
broken again. By the way, coming up in a little while, Naomi Wilzig. Now, she is in her 70s. We have to be careful with her, everybody. And somebody has recommended, Mickey Mathis recommended it. Now, even though she's in her... Now, what does this mean? She is a S-E-P-T-U-A, septuagenarian? S-E-P-T-U-A-G-E-N-A-R-I-A-N.
Means she's in her 70s.
I know. How do you say the word?
Septuagenarian.
Septuagenarian. Anyway, her thing is exotic art, Shuley.
Go ahead.
World exotic art. And she writes books about it and everything else. And she says, you haven't lived until you see my 6-foot wooden penis. That's what she says.
Oh,
So-
but invite Laverne.
Very much. Very much.
Make a good pair.
By the way, I want you to
Between
see
the cock and the penis.
Whoa.
Goes out
the carving that she sent. Do you see that picture of the carving, Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
I want Shuley to look at that, and I want Christina to take a look at that. That thing is so perfect. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable carving. So we'll be talking to her.
Magnificent.
In an interview I read with her, she said that she's heard every offensive thing possible, and none of it phases her. So we'll have to see.
Well, no, wait a minute now.
It looks
We
like
might
a
have
piece of
to-
chicken.
You know what, Christina? That is a perfect carving of a penis, and it's in the
It's
position
been a while
that,
since she's seen one in all
that will
fairness.
get to your G-spot. So excuse me. That thing is, that's a piece of equipment right
Well,
there.
yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, but I'm saying at the end of it, it looks like you can put barbecue sauce on it, no?
You can with some penises.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was in bed with you right now, I'd have some bone sucking sauce. You ever see that barbecue sauce? It's my
No.
favorite. Bone sucking, delicious.
Now, just be careful with
Or Tubbs.
this guest.
What?
Her husband is I think he's a Holocaust survivor, or he has a lot to do with the Holocaust.
Well, so do I.
Hold on one second. You know what, Garrett? Had you not mentioned it, I wouldn't have it in my head now.
Well, it's in the prep and stuff, so.
Jay,
Well, what do
you
you
know,
want?
I had an uncle that died in the Holocaust.
I know.
He fell out of the guard tower. Come on! All right.
That's why people say to me, what did
Ira
you
just
do?
looked at me and goes, that joke's old.
What'd you do during the Vietnam War? I was in the Marines. I was stationed in San Antonio, not when Viet Cong crossed the Rio Grande the whole time I was there. We looked every night for him, too. We didn't even order Chinese food for the whole time we were fighting over there.
I love when Rickles finds like an Asian guy in the audience. He goes, what's your name? And he goes, Bruce. Bruce! Spent 3 years in the jungle. Never met a Bruce.
You know what? We forget that that guys like Rickles really went overseas. They really fought.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
war. I
yeah.
know, it's hysterical, right?
Can you imagine being in the foxhole with him? That would be, you'd be like, this war is awesome. This guy's so funny.
Benny of Cleveland, Ohio. Yes, Benny, it's Jay Thomas. How are you, Benny, Cleveland, Ohio?
I'm doing well, Jay. Good to talk to you. I listen
Thank
to
you
a
so
lot.
much. Thank you so much, Benny.
Hey, you're talking about that chick golfer that died.
Yeah.
That doctor is now being romantically linked to her, and he made the 911 call. You can pull that off the internet. It's pretty creepy.
Erica Blasberg, she was with this guy, you think, romantically, and he was filling her full of pills as the alleged offense, perhaps?
Right, and you can pick up the 911. He made the call to the police, and you can pull it off the internet. You can.
Henderson 911, what is the location of your emergency?
2620 Hotel Del Villa.
2620 Hotel de Villa?
Yeah.
What's going on
hold
there?
on a
I
second.
need
Do you
to
know why?
report
Wait a
a
minute.
suicide.
Wait a minute. Do you know why he's out of breath? Because
No,
he's been
you know.
throwing away
He's been
the
shredding the
pills
suicide note.
and shredding the suit. That's true. They say that's one of the problems they had with him, that he cleaned the place up before he called this 911. Okay, go ahead.
What's going on there?
I need to report a suicide.
By whom, sir?
I didn't get
Hold
her
on,
name.
stop the tape, please.
girl.
Hold on, stop the tape.
By whom?
You're the 911 operator, and someone report, and she goes like this. By whom, sir? Are you kidding? I mean,
Hold on,
They
let me
nev-
ask her what's her name.
but they never sound excited or, I mean, when I call 911, I'd want the guy to go, what's happening? And you go, okay, hold on a minute. Bob, get over there. You want somebody excited.
They're never shocked.
Benny,
Yeah,
when you
get
call
somebody
911,
over.
you want someone to go, what's going on? And you go, I'm bleeding. Oh, God, he's bleeding. Get over there right away. He's bleeding. You know what I mean? They never sound like they're concerned, right?
Where you at?
I mean, really? It's like, she said, what'd she say? What's her name? Is that the next thing she asked?
Who?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be an attempted suicide. Okay, go ahead. Jesus.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I got I came by to check on her last night, and she had a couple drinks, was sad. I came by to check on her now, and she's dead.
Well, this guy
How did
sounds
she
out
kill
of shape.
herself?
She put a bag on her head.
What kind of bag, sir?
Are there any weapons there?
No.
Douchebag.
And what is your name?
Thomas Hess, H-E-S-S.
Benny
Thomas,
said that?
how did you know her?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Stop
knew
it
her
for a
from the golf
second.
club.
Hold it. I thought the guy in the 911 call said it.
My son Luke Skywalker just killed himself.
Wait, when Benny said douchebag, I thought, did the guy say douchebag on the phone?
It's a new supermarket in Henderson. It's called Douchebags.
By the way, if you just joined us, we're in the middle of the 911 call for the sad demise of Erica. What's her?
We hardly knew ye.
Blasberg, who killed herself in May, but they just decided that it was a suicide. Let's continue.
Nice looking brunette.
Yeah, is that on the 911 call too?
I knew her from the golf club.
Was there anyone else who lived there with her?
Not that I know, no.
Just think she's laying on her head with the bag on her head.
Are you sure that she's beyond any help?
I'm a doctor.
You're a doctor? Okay.
Hold it. Stop the call right there. Hold on a minute. Hold it. So this woman has taken all this information, and what have we been listening for, like a minute or so? And then she goes, is she beyond all help? Oh, well, wouldn't you have asked that, like, right away?
Hold on, let me take this bag that's duct taped off her head and see if she's beyond help.
And now, he said he's a doctor. I bet the next question is, what school did you go to?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get laid.
Okay, here we go.
I'll tell you who's doing it.
Help.
I'm a doctor.
You're a doctor? Okay.
Can you stop it, please? Because I keep thinking Ben is a part of the 911
Benny is the part of the 911 call. Guess who's doing her? You know, I'm going, what a crazy 911 call.
It's like 911.
I stuck it in her ass.
What kind of 911 call is that?
Here we go.
God damn it.
Okay, so tell me again, sir, what exactly happened last night that you were worried about her for?
I had talked to her early or yesterday evening, not yesterday evening. I talked to her the day before. And we stopped by. We had a drink at the M. I had to go. She had to go. I called her yesterday. She was supposed to be leaving for a golf tournament, but she didn't. So she picked up the phone, and she sounded intoxicated at that time.
Okay.
I feel the force is strong with this one.
Hold on the line with me just a moment.
Okay.
Jesus, this is taking forever.
There's power converters by her dead body.
What's she doing now?
Apparently 911 operator's driving through a tunnel.
All right, that's good. Benny at Cleveland, thank you very much. Now,
Yeah, you bet.
you know what?
He was probably doing her with that bag on her head, and she died.
I got to tell you, there's something that doesn't sound right about that call. Now, he's not, accused of anything, and I'm certainly not going to accuse him myself, but...
Well, they arrested him, but then they released him.
Yeah.
For what do they call that? Tampering.
So she was
with a crime
laying
scene
there with the bag on her head while he was making the call, and her face had to be all contorted and everything,
Yeah, she's probably like blue,
Oh, God. Oh, my God. All right, there she is. She's gone with a plastic bag on her head. All right. Thank you, Benny.
She committed suicide.
She sure did, Ira. She sure did,
Anybody that puts a bag over her head,
right?
Forget it. They're gone.
They're gone.
They're goners.
You know what's really weird? You know where she got the plastic bag? It was the goodie bag from the last tournament she did. That they had the things in, the gloves and the little balls and all.
A little iPod in there.
Yeah, and they have a cookie.
At first, she tried her golf bag.
She tried the golf bag first. It didn't work. You know what? The zipper kept hurting her neck. And we're going to have Coach Faoud Zaban on the show.
And listen, it wouldn't be the first time a guy's put a bag over a chick's head.
Coach Faoud Zaban coaches the Dearborn, Michigan Fordson Tractors. That's the name of the team. They're the Tractors. And his football team practices from 11 p.m. at night until 4:30 in the morning. Because they are Muslims and it's Ramadan. So they're they're playing an undefeated team on Friday night, and I think the Ramadan thing is over. They're playing the Detroit Palestinians on Friday night, who are 14-0. You know what's really funny? They're playing the Catholic school on Friday night, and so they've been practicing all night long because they can't you have to fast during the daylight hours, right? That's what it is. So we have you don't mind, surely, that I have a Muslim football coach who's got mostly Muslims on his team, do you?
No, not at all. I mean, football is
football is very, very important.
Just so they don't build a Muslim football stadium near
9/11, near the World Trade Center.
That's all you care about,
right?
That's
that
all you care
mosque,
yes,
that they're talking about,
right?
The people are so stirred up. They don't want the mosque over there. Bloomberg wants the mosque. This one doesn't want the mosque.
But what about you?
Come up with compromises.
Well, it's a mosque. What would be a compromise? To put up maybe a Subway sandwich place?
Jay,
Subway?
Can I say something?
Yes, you can, Ira.
It's sad what happened on 9/11. Really.
But, you're not going to say but, are you? No.
The only thing is, a mosque in that area would be saddened for everybody. Put it a little bit further uptown.
So a few blocks away.
Yes. Then people wouldn't be very, very upset. But it's 3 blocks away from ground zero.
I saw Bill Maher on his Twitter wrote that maybe if we had built something there in the last 9 years, this wouldn't be such a big deal.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And they can't even decide on the memorial.
Right.
They are angry at the memorial, and it's just going to be the names of the people that died, and there's going to be the names of the firemen that died, and there's going to be a room that has the pictures and the story of each of the killers. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. You go into a room, and there's going to be, like, pictures of these 19 bastards that killed them. I don't think they ought to have that. That's the thing. Now, I know it's a memorial in a museum, but they're going to have that there. That's the one that bothers me.
That's going to be the whole sad thing about this.
Yeah, they shouldn't have the pictures of the killers.
No.
It would be like in Munich, Shuli, where the Israeli kids died and the coach died. They would have the pictures of the Palestinians that killed them. I mean, come on.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's completely stupid. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that the other night was one of the things they were complaining about. All right, it's the Jay Thomas Show with Shuli and, of course, the great Ira the Weatherman. You know what? It's so simple. Kids are so stupid. They find anything interesting, like Mr. Rogers and all that shit. If every morning I got up, put my ass on television, and I put on some crazy hat, and they call me Uncle Jay, the brats would line up to watch me.
It's time for everybody's favorite show, The Uncle Jay Show. Starring everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Jay.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Jay. Okay, it's Big Pants Day. Ooh, my pants are too big. I better get a belt. Where's my belt? Come in. No! Don't spank me with a belt. Belts are not for spanking, boys and girls. They're for holding up your pants. If your mommy or daddy ever takes a belt to you, tell them, no! Belts are not for spanking. Kids are so stupid. Oh, my God. Another Jeff Furlot production. Wow. That's amazing.
that it would be untrue.
Play it, baby.
You know that I would be a liar.
Wow.
If I was to say
I love this heroin addict.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher.
Yeah, baby.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
God, I love this song.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah.
Try to set the night on fire.
Oh, and that Ira the Weatherman taking backup today. Shuli, by the way, will be performing in Long Island this weekend, and I believe we might even have some tickets to that. Is Shuli near a microphone somewhere nearby?
Yeah, he's stepping in right now.
Yeah. Shuli, you went out to get those free tickets, did you?
That's right, Jay. You're in the Long Island area.
Where's your show on Friday night?
Hold on, I got to pull up the thingamajig here.
You don't know the name of the place?
It's in two separate places, and they're both in Long Island. One is at
the what?
So it's the hotel tour. One's at a Sheraton, one's a Holiday Inn. Hold on. And I'm with Mike DiStefano from Last Comic Standing.
Hysterical, very funny guy.
And he's headlining.
Mike DiStefano over in Empire City 2 weeks ago?
No, that's Nick DiPaolo.
Nick DiPaolo.
Close.
Yes.
Friday night, it's in Smithtown.
All those guineas look alike, don't they, Ira?
They're all angry. Friday night's in Smithtown, and it's a 7:30 show. And then Saturday, we're doing 2 shows in Plainview at 7:30 and 10 o'clock, and you can go to comedytogoinc.com, comedytogoinc.com for tickets and details and everything. It's going to be an awesome show. Mike's killer, and we're going to have a good time.
And Shirley will be there. All right. Okay. That's in Long Island, whatever those towns are you just mentioned.
Yes.
You know what? When I don't live near a place that somebody's talking about, I tune it out.
I heard that.
Phineas of Arkansas. We haven't heard from you in a long time. Hey, Phineas, don't you carry chickens sometimes? Do you carry eggs or?
No, I carry rabies, rabbit heads. Like I pick them up at the health department. They just send the head back to the state hospital there in Little Rock, and they check them for rabies.
What kind of heads? Wait a sec. What kind of heads do you check?
Rabid, R-A-B-I-D, rabid.
Rabid heads of what? Dogs? Cats?
Dogs, skunks.
They're like a rabbit's foot.
You transport a head of an animal that they think has rabies?
Yeah, they put them in a bucket. They will actually put them in a bag, put them in a bucket, put them in a box, and seal it.
How did you get that job?
Just work for the state, just hauling stuff like that. Also sometimes haul blood, like hepatitis blood, AIDS blood, stuff like that.
So everything you haul is like dangerous shit.
Biohazard.
And so where do they throw it? What do they do with it?
I don't know what to do with it. They test it, I guess. But I was up in Harrison, Arkansas one time, and they said you can't leave till they call him the sanitarian. You can't leave till the sanitarian gets back. He's bringing in a skunk head. And they said it bit a boy 3 days ago, and they don't know if it's rabid. And I said, well, they're going to kill it. I said, well, how do they know it's the same skunk that bit the kid? And they said, well, it's the boy's pet. Said it's about a 3-pound skunk, bit the kid. And then when the guy got back, I said, so that's pretty bad. He said, that ain't the bad part. He said, there's 4 other people from this litter. Got 3 other skunks out there, and they got to go find them and track them down and take them into the hospital, too.
Now, wait a second. You have to cut the skunk's head off to find out if it has rabies or not?
Yeah, they test the brain of animals to find out whether there's rabies.
So let's say the little boy loved the skunk, and it was his pet. And the skunk bites the little boy, and he draws blood, and everybody freaks out. The only way to find out if that skunk has rabies is to kill it and chop its head off.
Yeah, they do that with dogs, too. Like, if you got a pet that bites you and you're worried that it's got rabies, there ain't no way to test it other than the fact you got to examine the brain.
You got to kill your pet.
If you're afraid it's got rabies, That's what Old Yeller, remember that?
That's exactly right. Well, Old Yeller did have rabies. Old Yeller was foaming at the mouth. You know what? I'm not kidding you.
What about Cujo? Who can forget Cujo?
You're exactly correct. But when I hear Old Yeller, I mean this. I think that might have been the first movie I ever watched that got me. You know, like you're a kid and you watch something.
Mine was The Champ with Rick Schroeder.
That got you?
It did.
The daddy died?
Yeah, and he's crying there. He's like, Dad, Dad. I remember being a little kid going, this acting's awful.
No, you didn't.
No, it did get me, though. It did.
Phineas, what was the first movie right off the top of your head that got you? Yeah,
when that old lady that had the wagon with the mule and that nobody would be friends with her and they kicked her out of town. That made me cry like a baby. I was
a Gunsmoke episode?
A Gunsmoke episode, yeah. They was all being mean to her and telling her she was not wanted, and they threw her out of town.
Did it have something to do with the fact that you were not wanted by people or something?
Oh, I was loved as a child.
Oh, really? Garrett, what was the first movie that
Not when they named you, they didn't love you. That's for
Phineas,
sure.
yeah. What's the first movie that ever got you, that you can remember? Watching something, because it comes upon you all of a sudden.
Well, and here's another question. What's the movie that you totally didn't expect to get you that got you? Like, what's the dumbest
You want to know mine?
movie?
Oh, my God. You're not going to believe it. The Goofy movie.
The Goofy movie?
I take my little boy to the Goofy movie. And we go to the Goofy movie, and before it's over, I am blubbering. Because Goofy has to take him cross country, and they're not getting along, and introduce him to this rock star, and he does everything he can for his little boy. I'm not kidding you, and it got me. My wife, of course, said, "What are you, crazy?" And then Goofy ends up on the stage with the rock singer and everything else. I got to tell you, I was a goner, the Goofy movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And my son kept looking at me going, "What's the matter, Dad?" Because he wasn't affected.
No. Son's into guns and shit.
Well, he was a little boy then. He was,
They still got it in him then.
You want to hear something? He still has this look in his eye. He's got this weird fucking look in his eye.
The number one picture was Opus.
Opiates.
Holland's Opus, all right. We need to go to break, don't we, Garrett?
Yeah.
I mean, we've just been bullshitting here like we're not at work.
I'm dying to hear Garrett's movie.
You know what?
What?
How do them little Muslim boys play football if football's made out of pigskin?
Well,
that's going to be my first question.
You know what else?
It's
easy to tackle them when they run by. Just grab that towel sticking out of the back of their helmets. You can drag them down that way.
Is it true?
Where you are right now, it's around 87 degrees.
We'll be right back. Very good.
That's not true at all.
You know what, Kent? We don't need. Hey, Kent, we don't need all that shit from you.
Real temperature.
No, Ira, don't ask anybody the real temperature. Somewhere in Canada, it's 60 degrees.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it is.
Well, that's all that we have. That's all we care about. Somewhere in Canada, it's 60. Okay, even if it's in a refrigerator, somewhere in Canada. All right, somewhere. All right, go ahead, Ken. Go ahead.
The saddest movie you'll ever watch is Lonesome Dove. When Robert Duvall dies there at the end, not at the end, I guess.
But I'm really asking about the very first movie that got you. Not, I mean, I've cried about
Old Yeller, I guess.
Old Yeller, yeah. How about The Yearling? Did anybody ever watch The Yearling?
How about Bambi?
Bambi, when the mother gets killed.
Right at the start. Right out the gate.
Boom. I could just see Walt Disney going, "Let's kill that mother real fast."
Right.
Let's get rid of her real fast. All right, Walt, we'll do it. All right. Patrick of Iowa. Yes, sir. What's the movie that made you cry, Patrick?
Well, it's a toss-up between Brian's song and Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles?
I don't know.
Oh, man, I saw that one.
Blazing Saddles?
5554444. I smell smoke in the auditorium. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. And Charlie Brown, he's gonna get caught. Just you wait and see. Why is everybody always picking on me? Who's always throwing spitballs? Who, me? Hey, you! Walk in the classroom, cool and slow. Who called the teacher? Teacher Daddy, oh, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown. He's a clown. That Charlie Brown. He's gonna get caught. Just you wait and see. Why is everybody always picking on me? Very nice.
You know what? I think that's the first time, Shuli, I've ever heard post-nasal drip auto-tune.
I was just going to say, I never knew you could auto-tune phlegm.
Yeah.
Great job, Ira.
Yes, thank
Unbelievable.
You're like Cher.
Unbelievable. Thank you. In a few moments, we'll have another chance at somebody to win $500 on our Holiday Road contest. Email me at jthomasshow@SiriusXM. In the subject line, you just put where you think we ought to go. We put you or that person on the air, and after September 3rd, you'll be in the running for Ira to draw your name for $500. Naomi Wilzig, we will be talking to her in a few moments from her World Erotic Art Museum. Go to weam.com and you will see erotic things. And I understand now. What did she say to you, Garrett? That she's heard it all.
I read an interview. Yeah, what she said.
She's heard it all.
She ain't heard me.
Nothing can shock. We're not going to try to shock her.
No. Well, maybe you're not.
No, we're not. But that's what I like about a guest, because we've had some trouble. We've had some guests on that apparently haven't heard it all.
Like yesterday's guest.
Did we have some? Oh, the Palinisms.
No. You didn't get the email from Andrea?
What guest?
Oh, boy.
Oh.
What happened yesterday?
What'd I miss? What was the guest? Who was the guest?
I don't know. I have no idea. Hold on. Garrett, I'm in a good mood. Hold off on it, please. And I have not received the email yet. Don't ruin my day, because I can't wait to talk to Naomi, and I don't want it ruined, okay?
But as soon as you're done talking to her, can we read it?
There's one sentence that's all caps.
Oh!
With 3 exclamation marks in it.
Oh! Wait a second. I don't tell me. I've got to think back to yesterday. First of all, Uncle Jay might have had a little imbibement prior to the show. So my memory, surely my memory is a little... I might have to put a blueberry directly into my rectum so that my memory is better. I cannot think of who was the guest. We didn't have Palinisms on yesterday?
Yeah, we did. And then the other...
Was that person mad at me?
No, the Holiday Road guest was.
Where did... Oh, the guy.
Mm-hmm.
At the mines.
Yes.
And we asked him if the mines, he had the penis rock there. We want to know if the mines were shaped like vagina. Okay, stay where you are. Shuli, we kept saying to this guy, do you stick the penis rock into the vagina? And I guess he didn't. For Christ's sakes, he lives in the middle of nowhere, the guy, right? All right, let's go to Tim of Georgia. Tim, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
Good afternoon, Tim. Tim, it's around 85 degrees
in
Georgia.
There you go. Ira, try and give the weather for, like, when it's not right now.
When it's not right now?
Like in the future.
Yeah, like in the future. Well, Tim obviously knows the temperature.
Not like Thursday or Friday, like 3 years from now.
The weekend or something, you know.
The weekend it's going to be 85 to 90 in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Oh, rain or whatever. Or the hurricane.
Rain,
all right, good. There
sunny
you go.
And hot.
Nice, okay. Tim of Georgia. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I want to mention the movie that really got to me was Blue Lagoon.
No, you're lying, right?
Wow.
Not with Brooke Shield.
Yeah.
What? No, wait a minute now. I never watched that. It was too queer for me. The guy has like no clothes on and she has no clothes.
He looks like one of the Marx brothers, the one that doesn't talk.
What got to you?
Well, it didn't hold up too good now.
Mm-hmm. But how old were you when you saw it?
About 10.
And it got to you. What scene got to you?
The very end where they both kill themselves because their baby.
I haven't seen it, dude. What?
Wait a
asshole.
second. At the end of Blue Lagoon, they kill themselves?
Yeah, because their baby swallows some poison or something.
No shit. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? If I knew they were going to die at the end of the movie, I'd have rented it immediately. Oh, my God. All right, Tim, thank you.
What? I'm dying to know what the Blazing Saddles guy. What the hell?
Oh, that's right. Where is he? Patrick of Iowa?
Yeah.
What in Blazing Saddles would have made you cry because you were serious about it.
Is it the Asian jokes?
Well, understand this. I was like, Jesus, 6, maybe 7. I think my uncle snuck me in. I didn't know if I was supposed to be in the theater.
That's a cool uncle, by the way.
Very cool uncle.
He's a great uncle. But when with the deal with Mongo, they were so mean to him, and as a kid, you see that, and they're beating him with the shovel.
They have him chained to a wall.
Yeah, they got him
prison.
chained to the wall. He can't. He has to have his own separate dining facilities.
And clearly, he's sensitive because he has that statement that he makes where he says, "Mongo only pawn in game of life."
Oh my God!
When you're a kid, it was. I don't know.
Did you cry in Webster too? Because he was the dad in
with
Webster.
Alex Karras. Yeah. But you mean that, don't you, Patrick?
Absolutely. But now it's as an
I'll
adult,
tell you why. I remember taking my nephew or watching the video of Young Frankenstein, right? The comedy, right?
Right.
And when the monster's being made fun of by the crowd when he was singing, remember that?
Yep.
Yes.
My nephew started crying because he felt sorry for the monster, right? And of course everybody's laughing, right? And he's going, yeah, right. My nephew started, and we had to stop. We had to stop the video and tell him it was a joke and everything. Yeah, I do remember that. Well, okay, all right, that's honest. Thank you, Patrick.
You bet, bye.
Thank you, Pat. What a queer. Let's go to Naomi Wilzik. Hey, Naomi,
pull off
welcome.
the highway and into something amazing. Holiday Road, the Jay Thomas Show.
Thank you. Mickey Mathis recommended that we speak with Naomi Wilzik. Naomi, where is the World Exotic Art Museum? What area of the country are you in?
Miami Beach, Florida.
Ooh, it is lovely out there.
Our friend Shuli, Shuli is of the Hebrew heritage.
So I'm practically from there too.
Shalom.
And Ira the Weatherman is also of the Hebrew heritage. I have played Hebrews on television, but I'm not one. Isn't that amazing?
But you wouldn't know that if you'd watched the shows. He's very good.
Why are Jews so attracted to Miami Beach, Naomi? Before we go one step further, what is that?
It's a beautiful place. People live longer. With the weather, with the being out in the light and in the air, and with friends, that it's just a vibrant atmosphere. So people live longer.
You know that they were going to make Miami Hollywood before Hollywood, and the producers, actually the original movie guys, they owned some movie theaters, I guess, but a lot of them owned factories and stuff, and they were making tons of money turning out these movies in an hour or two, right? So they said, we got to go someplace where it's not cold. So they were going to go to Miami. And then somebody said, forget Miami, they have hurricanes and stuff. If you go to Southern California, you can buy land like 50 cents an acre. And that's why Hollywood became Hollywood. Did you know that?
No, of course not.
Miami, they did do some movies down there, but they had hurricanes and inclement weather and the humidity. And once they went to Hollywood, Shuli, they said, this is it. This is where, and they bought, you could buy like 1,000 acres, for $500. It was crazy. So that's what they did. Well, Naomi,
which one of your compatriots recommended me? Who saw the museum?
Mickey Mathis is a listener to the Jay Thomas Show. We're on the Sirius XM satellite radio.
She's a very good Facebook friend of mine.
Yeah,
lovely woman.
And so what happens is that I love to go to interesting places, and so you're one of a couple of thousand that we've been to in about 6 years, but we can't physically go to them. So it's theater of the mind.
Okay,
Naomi.
Then you come and you see sex from all over the world, from the beginning of time, since Adam and Eve, all the way through to contemporary times. Anything you have ever imagined or thought about sex, you'll see that an artist has created a wonderful replica of it.
Now, Naomi, this opens up my first question. You've said anything you've ever imagined. If I go into this place, and this is not the way I normally would speak, but since this is an erotic art museum, I would say to you,
we're all adults here.
Could you show me a painting or some sort of art of someone being anally pleased. Do you have that in your museum?
Yes, sir, we do.
Is there a section just for that?
Would you go to, like, up the bum? Where is it? Where is the...
We have it all over. We have complete daisy chains where you'll see a dozen of them lined up, all going up the rectum. We show life as it really is, as things have really occurred with someone somewhere, hopefully with consenting adults. We show any fantasy, any dream, any memory, any...
Wait a minute, but Naomi, you seem like... You almost seem like... I mean, do you have grandchildren?
Yes.
I mean, your grandkids come to this museum and they can see a penis going into to someone's rectum?
Yes. Because
Naomi,
in the gay community it's happening, and we have to recognize...
How about regular in the heterosexual? Do you have a man inside of a woman?
Yes, because we have threesomes where a man is going into a woman while another man is going into the man. So obviously the man in the center is bisexual.
That's some goddamn art right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what we're going to have later after this, and I know what we've had before. I'm going to say right now, Naomi Wilczek, you are the greatest Holiday Road guest I have ever had in my entire life. I'm going to say it right now. Now, Naomi, right away, now here's the weird thing. Right away, if I'm in there, and let's say there's not a lot of people in there, and I come in and you're showing me these things, I would get kind of turned on. Do people ever hit on you and figure that if this is what you're into and you're the curator, that you might be a woman who, enjoy, not rape or anything, but enjoys, sex and maybe would go into a room right there in the museum and begin...
Strangely enough, people have not done that here in the museum, but when I had the art in my home for 10 years before I moved it into the museum and people would come to visit me, they thought I went with the exhibition, and they would put their arm around me or make suggestive comments. But strangely enough, since being in the museum, people are completely respectful and in awe. They're just amazed and shocked at what they see. So most of the time, instead of coming on to me, they thank me for having made them aware of what's been going on in the world since day one.
Now, Naomi now listen to this, is a lifetime member of the Florida Holocaust Museum in St. Petersburg, a life member and director of the Daughters of Miriam Center for the Aged, and a member of the American Museum Association. She has penned any number of books and an award-winning script about Holocaust survival. And, you have a whole nother life, and your husband's an Auschwitz survivor, and this erotic thing immediately would make me think that you were like a former topless dancer or pornographic star or whatever. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the two different people that you are, because we're all so nervous about sex. What makes you so open about all of this?
Well, actually, it's more complicated than that, because I wasn't a topless dancer in another life. I came from an Orthodox community where I observed all the tenets of Judaism, including not traveling on the Sabbath.
Lashana Tova to you. Yeah. Lashana Tova.
Shalom Aleichem.
Thank you so much. But what happens is
Hold it a second. Can I add yabba dabba doo?
Okay.
All right.
I am a realist.
Yes. Okay.
I accept life as it is. I do the best I can with anything that comes my way. I'm not particularly one that fantasizes. I'm a very real person. Mm-hmm. And when I first became exposed to the erotic art, I accepted it as life as it is. And I decided, why hide it? What is more beautiful than God's creation of the human body? What is the greatest tapestry that there is to work upon except the human body? And if it was fine with the Almighty to create it in all its nuances and all its beauty, I accept it. I don't hide from it. I don't shy from it. And it upsets me that people are so stupid to think it's a terrible thing to see a breast or a penis or a vagina.
That's life.
But they'll let you see somebody's head chopped off with a chainsaw.
Right.
That they'll accept.
Right.
And the
You're right,
incongruity
because
of
you're
it-
right. You cannot, if you see sex in the movies, it gets a rougher treatment than if you see somebody get the crap beaten out of them in a film with the blood going all over the
True.
Naomi,
What?
is there a fisting section in the
A what?
museum?
Fisting?
A what?
Fisting.
Fisting. Oh, Ira,
Fisting.
please.
Is there a what
Where-
section?
A
Fist,
section
where somebody
for-
would put their fist inside of another human being.
Is there any art like that? That's what he's into, sadly.
Do I have a fist job? I have to think for a moment.
You have to
You'd
think
remember. You'd remember if you had one of those.
I
trust
don't-
me.
I don't
Someone
think-
just asked me, do you
no,
have
I
any...
have something funnier.
What is
I have a woman whose entire head is within another woman's vagina by a very famous artist. So the head is even larger than the fist.
All right, hold it a minute. I'm
Naomi-
flying to Miami.
Okay, be my guest.
I am flying. Now, when you say it's a painting, right? Do you have any photographs? You know. Remember Mapplethorpe, the famous?
Yes, of course, I have Mapplethorpe.
You have some Mapplethorpe, famous gay artist.
Of course,
very erotic.
a lot of gay art, lesbian, and fetish art. We have everything that people do.
Now, what's amazing is that your friends and your husband, Siggy was his name.
Yeah, he's deceased.
Right.
He's
is deceased,
and he didn't like it, and he had no. He thought
he
it was,
didn't like your love of the erotic art.
Absolutely, he objected to it.
Oh.
But I made a life of my own. We had problems within the marriage, and since there were problems, I decided I have to live my life as I see fit.
Do you
And
have somebody
I
that's
kept it away
taking-
from him. I kept it away from him and his banker, friends, and contacts. I kept it in Florida away from him, and I didn't mix the two worlds. I kept it as a separate world.
Well, that's his loss at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You want to hear something? Is somebody taking care of you now, Naomi? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Oh, my God. Because
I'm
I
only
tell you right,
I'm only 75. I've got a few good years left.
You want to hear
You're
something?
still young at heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wait, I think she's young a lot of other places.
Absolutely.
Listen, Naomi, you and my friend Laverne that was on last week.
Now, his friend Laverne wrote a book called Fellatio, the Forbidden Foreplay. And she is a woman of your age, and she feels the same way, that you need to have these books. Now, what are your books about? What have you written about?
As far as the museum, I have 5 books showing artwork in the collection on display in the museum.
Erotic artwork, erotic treasures, erotic wonders.
Right. They're all filled with pictures of the actual artwork that's on display here.
When you look, like, by the way, if you're in Miami, Florida, you're on Washington Avenue at 12th Street in South Miami Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the World Erotic Museum.
Right.
As you look, and it's priceless. I mean, this collection of art is worth lots of money.
Correct.
Right. Millions of dollars. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as you look around, what is something that you got that shocked you? Beside the woman with her head up the other woman's vagina. Is there another piece of art that you, in the theater of our minds, that you would say, Jay, listen to this one that I have?
I don't have things that shocked me. I have things that I can't believe are so wonderful.
Yeah,
like I have a bed, and the bed has 4 posts.
Right.
And the 4 posts are 8-foot-tall penises. And on the 4 posts and the footboard and the headboard and the side rails are 138 beautifully carved Kama Sutra carvings. So it is a fantasy of art, and yet it's the most unique and beautiful thing. No one else has ever
the
seen
fantasy
one
of
like
people. It's people making love all around the sides of the bed,
Correct.
and then the 4 posts are the penises.
And it's carved into the penises.
But the 4
My
posts
God.
are totally carved.
Right.
They're carved with things. But
I had a friend who had a toy box in his room that was a vagina, and it was just no. In all seriousness, he could throw the toys in, just couldn't get them out.
Imagine you take a girl home and that's your bed.
Well,
Yeah.
Actually, the artist did have it in his home at one time before he got divorced and decided to sell it.
And you look at the girl and you go, let's take it slow.
Yes.
I just finished 4 times twice.
I don't know what that means. Let's go to Mitch of Texas. Mitch, you've been listening to our Holiday Road guest, Naomi Wilzig, the owner-curator of the World Erotic Art Museum in South Miami Beach. What is your question, Mitch of Texas?
Yeah, that cock there sounds really cool. But I want to know if your guest had any artwork that depicted a human having sex with an oyster-filled watermelon.
A human having sex with fruit.
No, but we have fruit with sexual images in it. Like we have an apple with the core of it being a vagina, but not to having somebody penetrating a piece.
Well, I will tell you why he said that. I am pretty honest on this show, and I'm from the South.
Sometimes too honest, Naomi.
And when I was a little boy, giant watermelons would be growing in these fields, and my cousins and I would be running, and we lived in Louisiana, and one little boy one of my cousins brings some oysters, and they plugged a watermelon. I don't know if you know what that is, and you open it up and you can see if it's going to be delicious or not.
Right.
So they pulled it out, and then the little boy put oysters into that hole, and we all put our penises in there. And it was the first time that I had anything that even was like sex. But you see, people call up, and you can see what it's like now. You're right. You can't tell erotic stories or your first experience with sex or anything. It's held against you.
True.
Why is that, do you think? What is our fear?
The church got into the picture and made it evil and bad. Before the Renaissance, there was open sexuality. You saw all these bedroom scenes with sexual scenes going on of every kind. But after the Renaissance, when the church came into the picture, everything became forbidden, and you would be punished and go to Hades or hell if you did if you committed any of the sins that we call sexual acts. So it was really a question that the church spoiled things in that respect.
Naomi, it's too sad that you live in Florida. Otherwise, I would come down.
The weatherman would be there.
I would be the cleanup. I would ask you for a job over there to clean up the museum and everything.
We have people that come from all over the world just to see the museum. I had a professor come from the University of Moscow, from the University of Croatia. Last week there was a couple from Italy. They saw me on Italian television. I've been in Maxim, Italy. I've been in Marie Claire, all the different magazines. We're known worldwide, and it wouldn't be so unusual for someone to come to Miami just to see that museum because it's so unique.
What is the Fountain of Diana, the Huntress? What is that like? It says when you walk in the foyer, it's dominated by the legendary Fountain of Diana, the Huntress. What is that? Describe that.
Well, it's a bronze figurine of Diana, half nude, poised with a bow and arrow, about to shoot her arrow. But we've since moved that into the room where we have a great wealth of Greek mythological characters, of satyrs and centaurs and all different sexual images of things that happened in Greek and Roman mythology. So she's no longer in the center, but she's still here.
Now, do you ever close up the place
Sanchez
no
paintings?
dirty? You ever close up the place?
Sanchez
no.
I don't know what he said.
You're not missing anything. After closing, have you? Some of this stuff is real equipment. You have a carving of a penis that, it looks like something that would go right to a woman's G-spot, Some of these are not just pieces of art. They were actually used for sexual pleasure.
Sure, because don't forget, batteries are a newer invention.
Right.
And what did people do before batteries?
I have no idea.
Well, you come here, you'll see what.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Naomi Wilzig.
I just want to know, what's the oldest sexual piece of art you have?
We have several hundred antiquities of penises and amulets and terracotta artworks that are pre-Christian era.
Wow.
And we also have such unique things as the murder weapon from the movie Clockwork Orange.
The giant penis that they killed the woman with?
Yeah, and people say to me, how do you know it's real? And I just grin at them and say, because I washed the blood off before I put it on display.
Nice.
And
my kind of gal.
Well, now, wait a minute now. Malcolm McDowell is a friend of mine.
Okay.
Does he know that the penis is in your possession?
I believe so, because we've tried to contact them to try and get some of the other statuary that was in the movie. Like there was the chorus line of the dancing Christ figures, but we haven't been able to get our hands on one for here.
One day at a time.
But I have to tell you one thing, which is the best thing of all with having created this museum, is that the professors from all the local colleges feel that the collection is so outstanding and superb that they take on the responsibility of sending their students here. So we get the human sexuality classes from all the local colleges. We've had groups come from Hadassah and Jewish affairs. We've had ministers come. We are accepted as life as it is and something important to see. So I have no qualms about having created an erotic museum. I'm very proud of it and think I've done a service to people for them to accept their bodies and their own sexuality.
Well, you have 3 children. Are they all, any of them, inherited that what your husband disliked? Or are they all for you?
Well, the oldest son is the reason why I first started the searching for erotic art. He wanted some conversation pieces for a new apartment, and he had heard they can be found in the antique world, which is where I spent all my spare time. So it was natural for him to say, I'm busy working while you're antiquing. Find me a few erotic conversation pieces. So he accepted it right away. My other son and daughter accepted it later. They weren't crazy about it in the beginning, but then when they realized what was happening and that it was becoming important, they accepted it. Particularly when they saw that an outside publisher was willing to publish 2 books on my collection, it gave it a reality and an importance that it came out of just being in my living room, but it came out into the public world as something that's accepted.
Well, when your kids would come over, there'd be like, before you had the museum, you'd have like a 6-foot penis like in the living room, and you'd have all this art all over the place and anal sex and stuff. And
Mom, have you seen my hat? Check the penis, honey.
Mean, the grandkids would come over. Was it ever? Did you ever not want to have them over because of the art?
No, they didn't come over in the beginning, but later when it was in the museum, I have 2 sets of grandchildren: a young set that are 2 and 4, and an older set that are 22 and 24.
I thought you were going to say one set that's normal, one set that's normal, the other set that's in shock.
The older set comes to the museum and brings their friends.
Good. Now let's go to Jack of Atlanta. Yes, Jack. We're visiting on Holiday Road. Naomi Wilzik.
Are you screaming?
Of the World Erotic Art Museum. Go ahead, Jack of Atlanta. Go ahead.
Hey, hats off to this lady for taking these so-called taboo subjects that are just real life and exposing them. And I've also been doing some reading about ancient Greece, and it seemed fashionable then for men to have boys of 12 and 13 years of age as their lovers. Is there a tremendous amount of that art from that era that dealt with pedophilia?
It wasn't considered pedophilia, and it wasn't considered homosexuality. It was expediency. It was because they were at war. Most of these nations were always constantly conquering one another, and the women just weren't available. So it was considered an honor for these young men to service their lord, their master. It wasn't a homosexual thing, because these men, when battle was over, went home to their wives.
Yeah, nothing
gay
about that.
The Spartans were known for banging, to be crude, the little boys or themselves or whatever. Is that true?
Yes, they did do that, and you see it in the artwork, but still it wasn't the sexual connotation. It was a companionship, it was a power play, it was necessary because of the sexual urge is so strong within people, that these people, it just was there for the happening, and the boys didn't consider even that they were being abused. They considered it an honor to
Naomi,
to serve their
First of all, Jack, are you a pedophile, first of all?
No, I'm not, and that's why
Really?
it was kind of startling. When I started to read about this, it was actually Alexander the Great, and it considered women were just breeding sows.
That's right.
You know, it was
No, wait a minute.
And some
Jack,
of those boys called him Alexander the Adequate between you and I.
That's right. Now, Jack, stay right there. Now, Naomi, given everything we now know about what we call pedophilia, do you really think that these young boys whose rectums were, ripped open by these Spartan penises, do you think they didn't get screwed up like the people of today? You know what I mean?
I think that most cases they accepted it as a way of life, as opposed to today, where you had where you have the sexual abuse in churches or things like that, where they had no willingness, no consent. These boys went off to battle and volunteered to serve their lords.
You mean they fought and then they took it up the ass?
Well, I guess they did.
Good Good Lord.
Naomi.
Yes.
I have a rubber from the 1930s.
Well,
Only
get rid of it.
used twice.
Get rid of it.
You interested?
He's got a condom from the 1930s.
You missed the other part.
If it comes in a pretty box, I'll put it on display. If not, throw it out.
He said it's only used twice, if you're interested.
All right, Jack, go back to your
by the way,
website,
I'll show
Jack.
you an oil painting of a woman putting a condom on that's dated approximately 1860. So we didn't invent condoms either. They're also 150 years old.
What did they use way back when? Did
Chipmunks.
Did they tie
animal skins?
You'd tie an animal skin around your penis and you'd put it in somebody, and that would work.
Well, it must have helped somewhat, because that was the first condoms that were made.
Mm-hmm. I had to use giraffe neck skin, actually.
A giraffe skin?
For her pleasure.
Neck skin, yeah.
Let's go to Kelly of Lancaster, PA.
That was the Magna of rubbers back then.
Kelly?
Hi, Miss Naomi. How are you today?
Hi, Kelly.
I'm great.
Hi. I worked with Kevin and Susie to do the big 8-foot penis in the... I think you have it in your entranceway down there.
I have it. It was in the entranceway when we brought it over to an exhibition, but now it's in the gay room.
What do we mean by entranceway, first of all?
Wait one second. Kelly, you worked on an 8-foot penis at Naomi Wilzig's museum.
Well, it's 7 feet 11 inches, but we tell the girls it's 8 feet.
And then now, Naomi, you say it's in the gay room? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we've separated art according to subject, without picking on any one person. We have gay art together, lesbian art, fetish art, folk art, surreal art, Asian art, African art. So we're not picking on somebody by saying it's in the gay room.
Naomi,
we have it by subject.
Naomi, since I don't live in Florida, would you open up a museum in New York City?
I would, but the place I wanted to do rejected me, because they were. You can't imagine the stigma of the word erotic. People think it means porn.
Right.
And there were many, many cities that I wanted to open up in before Miami Beach that refused to let me. Including the Dali Museum officers objected to my opening in St. Petersburg, Florida. A landlord of a 20-story building on 42nd Street in New York refused to let me into his open space because one of the tenants might complain. Mm-hmm. The Lennar Corporation, that owns dozens of high-rise business buildings, refused to let me into their building, and very proudly said, "Not in a Lennar building." I've had politicians and city managers and landlords throughout the country refuse to accept the idea of my opening an erotic museum in their premises.
People are afraid of
They
sex.
are afraid.
They're afraid.
They
All
think erotic art means pornography, and they are afraid it would be...
Not when your name is Naomi Wilzig. It means millions of dollars of art. Yes.
Right.
Naomi,
yes.
The thing is, there is a museum in the 20s called the Sex Museum.
The Museum of Sex.
They can get...
Yeah, how come they got open?
Yeah.
Where? When?
In New York.
But they're closed. They're closed today.
Just today?
No, they're open.
Where?
The Museum
Where?
of
Are
the
you
Museum of
talking about,
Sex.
Are you talking about MoSex, the Museum of Sex?
Yeah, the Museum of Sex.
Yeah, all right, they opened. I guess now it's 5 years ago. Just before I opened.
So how come they let them open?
Well, they owned the person that put the museum owned his own building and put it in his own building.
All right. Well, Naomi, thank you. Go to World Erotic Art Museum if you're in Miami at Washington Avenue, South Miami Beach, and 12th Street. Naomi, thank you very much for being a part of Halloween.
Naomi, you were wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Unbelievable.
Shalom Aleichem. Shana Tova, Chag Sameach.
All right.
Okay.
B'riyut Tova.
Let me add before we go to break, Cowabunga.
It's a beautiful morning.
Wow. Hold on.
I think I'll pull outside for a while and just smile.
Felix Cavalera and the Young Rascals. Superman, but the Boss Hit Lines, and I'll play it for you. How you doing? Wow.
Let's go out to Naomi and her 8-foot cock.
So Siggy, her husband, Shirley, as you said, survived the Holocaust, and then he marries kooky Naomi, who is first of all, she had it all over the apartment, first of all. What were you saying, Shirley?
I said the guy survives not being thrown into gas chambers only to share living space with an 8-foot cock.
First of all, Jay, the songs that I've been picking up.
Yeah.
Our songs. Anyways,
I guess we're over the guest now, right? All right, we're done with the guest.
It's one thing to be like, the guy sitting, like, as guys, we come home from work, we're like, man, I busted my ass today, I don't deserve this. This guy survived the Holocaust. The Holocaust. He had to be sitting there one day in that fucking kitchen, drinking his coffee, staring at that giant cock, going, really? Really? That's why God left me on this earth?
Wait a minute. Can you imagine the day she brought home the painting of the woman whose head was inside the other woman's vagina? And she goes...
He probably sat there and goes, somebody made a painting of you?
Siggy, honey, I'm home. Yes. Now, do you think maybe this guy missed the sex boat with her? I mean, she's got to.
I don't think that she missed. I don't think that he missed it. I just think she went 0 to 900 in about 2 seconds, and the guy just can't keep up with that.
Who is her? Her oldest son is a singer called the Peace Man, Sir Ivan.
I never heard of him, but
do we have any of his music? Because he wanted erotic art in his apartment as conversation pieces. As soon as she said it, I knew he was gay. As soon as she said it. Then the other two, and they're really wealthy. The kids are CEOs and doctors and the whole thing. And then the older guy is the singer, I guess. But God forbid. And man, she loved it, all of it. Miriam, is it Miriam or Miriam? How is it? Marion? What's your name? Who is this?
It's Marion.
Hi, Marion. How are you?
Hi.
Jay Thomas.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, sweetheart. Thank you.
I was listening to this poor woman, and she was
Marion. Why would you say? I mean it. Why would you say poor woman? Why would you say that?
Because she wants to expand her business, and she says nobody else will let her open one up.
Mm-hmm.
And so my thought to her would be to go and apply as a mosque.
Let her open near 9/11, where the ground zero was.
Exactly.
I'd rather stare at a giant twat than a giant mosque, I'll tell you that.
And then
I'll even go pray at the fucking thing. What do you think of that? Take my shoes off before I go in the twat and everything.
Hold it. I'll go 5 times a day.
Yeah. Oh, which way's the twat facing? To the east? All right.
Nobody could turn her down.
Oh, my God.
And then when you bow down, you just go, twat.
She's got, they estimate that her art collection's worth like $10-15 million, something like that. I mean, it's not a joke. It's a big deal.
If it's that big of a deal, why is it still like you would think if it's that, if it's that valuable, it'd be in a bigger market. No, more people would invest in it.
No, there's a painting of a woman whose head is in another woman's vagina.
Yeah, but somebody appraised that. You know what I mean?
Yes, they did. They sure did.
So where do you draw the line? Like, we'll tell you what it's worth, but we're not going to let anybody see it?
Watch this. It's just like that commercial, right? Going into the drugstore, $32, whatever it is. Listen to the other. A painting of a woman's head up another woman's twat, priceless. I mean, that's what it is.
But at,
just like the Visa spot.
At MoMA this summer, there was this whole nude exhibit. And
Museum of Modern Art?
Yeah, and in between the doorways...
Hey, don't try to act cool by saying that shit.
MoMA.
MoMA. There would be a naked guy on one side, a naked girl on the other side, and you had to squeeze by them to get to the next rooms.
Real naked people?
Real naked people.
No,
that's
bullshit.
called the human car wash, by the way.
When you went to the Museum of Modern Art, there was a living, breathing naked man and naked woman. You saw their pubes in the whole.
Yes.
And
they were standing in the doorway, so you had to manipulate yourself.
No, that's bullshit.
Why are you saying it's bullshit?
I don't believe it.
There was a lot of other naked people hanging around too.
You know what? I'd have called the police if I'd have been to that exhibit.
I just hit my elbow in a guy's schmeckle. Get over here.
Well, I'll never forget the first time I used to take life drawing classes. And I was 14 years old, and my parents sent me into the city to take classes.
What kind of classes did you take?
Life drawing.
Life drawing? What does that mean?
Life drawing. Like people.
Was waste of time taken? That time?
Wait a second. The word is either you took a drawing class or what? I mean, everything you draw is in life, or you mean it had to be a live person? Is that what it was? Life?
Yes, but I didn't know that because I was only 14.
Right.
And when I walked into the class, there was a naked man standing there. And
your parents sent you to an art class, and it was a naked man in the middle of the room. Was that the first time you saw a penis?
Yes.
God, now, is that a dog next to you or something?
Yes, there is.
Is it a Saint Bernard? I mean,
I can almost smell its breath all the way here.
What kind of dog is it?
What? Yeah.
He's a large golden retriever.
And is he on your shoulder?
Yes, he is.
Jesus.
Because he doesn't like it when I'm on the phone, because then I'm not paying attention to him.
The dog doesn't like when you're on the phone? Let me tell you how you cure him of that. Hit him in that nose of his with the phone every time you get on it. That'll make him sit down when he hears the phone ring, okay?
No.
Yeah.
Jay, the exhibit also included...
Thank you, Marion.
Also included a naked woman reclining with a skeleton on top of her.
You saw that?
Yeah. There's a picture right here of two naked people standing in the doorway and this poor guy trying to squeeze through.
Did you put that at jthomas.com? Because I don't believe it.
Oh, look at it. Phil Otto sent me an article from New York Post titled Grope Dopes Inside MoMA.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of two people standing right across from each other and some woman looking at them like, you want me to do what?
People started touching the naked girls and stuff.
Bad.
And they got thrown out, yeah.
Well, of course they did.
Hey, mommy. Hey,
I
mommy.
gotta tell you
dropped
think
something.
About this. Now think about this. The people that were naked considered themselves pieces of art. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the person that was naked, they're into it. That's the group that drives me nuts. The group that thinks that they are really a part of something big. No, you're one of the few assholes that would take their clothes off and stand in a cold museum.
You want to make it art, throw a couple donuts on your cock. Then we'll talk.
I have Sir Ivan's song.
All right, we'll play that in a moment. Let's go to Larry Flint. Larry, you heard the woman with the erotic museum. Did that make the blanket in your lap go up? Don't you have a blanket covering your dead penis all the time?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. I have some items that you might be interested, Jay.
Yes, what? What would you like?
Well, I have a dildo that's carved from one of King Tut's femurs. I think she might be interested in one of those. I also have a rare King Leonidas rape chair. I got that on auction.
By the way, Julie, we're all 14. We go fight a battle, and there's a big, hot Spartan penis waiting for us back at the camp.
Yeah, that's when I go, hey, what happened to the high five? We can't just do that? Like, I'll even smack you on the ass like you just scored a 2-point conversion. I don't care. But really?
This is Sparta!
Ow!
What is it, Larry? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Larry.
I have a statue of Hitler going down on Mussolini. You think they put that in MoMA?
Yeah, they'll do it. They'll put it in your MoMA. All right, stay where you are. We'll have Sir Ivan, the singer that's the offspring of...
sex swing made out of Yasser Arafat's gobbler.
A what? Made out of what now? What?
Made out of Yasser Arafat's gobbler under his neck. Stretched it out.
Turkey gobbler.
This is gobbler.
Yeah.
All right, stay where you are. Well, not every interview, Holiday Road, goes as swimmingly as our erotic Holiday Road went. Surely, yesterday we had a guy on, Brent, and it was a mine. He'd bought a mine, old mines, and
a mine, Jay, like walking against the wind.
No, M-I-N-E, a mine.
Oh, mine.
And it was 50 miles outside of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
And there was a big giant rock shaped like a penis, and the balls and the whole thing. And then there were the mines, and you could go in the mines, and there was a dead Indian and bones, and so, we were having fun with it. Poor Andrea, got this letter. Brent just got finished doing this radio program, and I have to say I'm upset at the whole show. All they wanted to talk about was ass-9 stuff. Ass, I guess that's asinine.
Is that government stuff? What is that?
That was extremely inappropriate, and this is in capitals. Had absolutely nothing to do with us.
With the cock and balls rock?
They could have cared less about anything to do with our mine tour. That's bullshit. We talked about the friggin' mine tour.
Well, I'm here today. I wasn't on yesterday, but I will say for the record, I don't give a shit about a mine tour. What do you think of that?
You've just spoiled doing these radio shows for the other people that want to do real shows about us. What?
Come on.
How did we do that?
My cousin Brent was upset.
Oh.
Now listen to this.
Oh,
You're lucky
it's too bad.
You're lucky it wasn't my husband doing it, or it would have been embarrassing for you. Signed, Bobby. Well, what would he have done? Would have told us to get fucked? That'd have been the best interview we've ever had.
We're still waiting for somebody to do that.
All right, where is this woman's? Hey, Bobby. What's her name? Bobby. So this was the mine tour. Bobby Worley at yahoo.com. Dear Bobby. Yeah.
Dear Bobby, how's that cock and balls rock?
No, wait a minute. Bobby, do me a favor. Put your head inside one of the mines, and I'll make a painting that looks like it's inside of a vagina.
Bobby, we interviewed a 95-year-old woman today that is about to put a fisting section in her fucking museum.
Jay!
You should draw something for her, Shuli.
Oh,
Jay!
I'm not a good artist, but I'll try.
One thing about mines...
Yeah.
Don't bring one across state line.
That's right. Coming up, the coach of the Dearborn Fordson Tractors. He is a Muslim coach, Fuad Zabin.
Go Tractors!
And they practice from 11 p.m. at night until 4:30 in the morning because of Ramadan. And then on Friday night, they're going to
get those forklifts! Kill them!
They're going to play a bunch of Catholics. Now, is there anything in the Quran about Gatorade?
Yeah, and now...
Any mention at all?
And now, an infidel will flip the coin to see who gets the ball.
Yeah. So we will find out what it's like. And by the way, they've got a tough game on Friday night. Let's find out about Muslim football. Stay where you are when we come back.
Ramadan romance. A Ramadan romance.
I tell you what, if this is the land of the free and, you know, we accept everybody and all that, I'll tell you, we're going through hell right now. So I think part of my job is to, you know, kind of say, let's take a look at what everybody's just trying to, you know, get by on. Coach Fouad, is it Zabin? Coach, how do you say your last name? Zaban. Welcome to the show. Coach Fouad Zaban is the head coach of the Dearborn Fordson Tractors in Dearborn, Michigan. And most of the guys on your team, you might have a woman too, I don't know, are of the Muslim faith.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so because of Ramadan, you have to fast during the daylight hours. Is that it? Fast during the daylight hours?
Yes. There's no eating and no drinking during daylight hours.
So you can't practice because it's hot and they couldn't have any breakfast, they couldn't have any water or anything. So you started having practice from 11 o'clock at night until what, like 4 in the morning?
Yeah, till like about 4:30. And at that time, you know, they can obviously drink and eat and stuff. And we let them out in enough time so they can have a good breakfast before they went to bed.
And so you have a game Friday night, and you've been having this crazy schedule for a couple of weeks. How have the practices been going, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning?
Well, with all honesty, what we did was we did it for our double sessions. It was our two-a-days. And those are normally about, you're looking 6 to 7, 8 hours of practice. And that's the reason we did it. I mean, we did it typically right now for this week. We've gone on a normal schedule. You know, the kids are still fasting, but we you know, we're only out there for 2.5, 3 hours, you know, preparing for our game. So, you know, for this week, we had to kind of get them back into this kind of a schedule. You know,
now when you say two-a-days, I would get up at 6 o'clock and be at practice by 7, and we'd work 7 to 9 or whatever, 7 to 10. Well, then we'd be off for the hot point. Then we'd come back at 3:30 or 4 and practice till 7. You had the kids come at 11 p.m. and then take a break and then practice some more? Is that what you did?
To be honest with you, we took like a 15-minute break just because of the hour situation.
Sure.
So they really didn't even get that big of a break. They got like a 15-minute break where they were able to take their pads off and sit down and relax for about 15 minutes, and then we got started again.
Now, Friday night, you're playing the Catholics, right?
Yeah,
you're playing.
You're
playing the Catholics.
Coming Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Your team, the Dearborn Fordson Tractors.
Tractors, yes.
Yes. They're going to win.
Oh, my God. Ira the weather. Wait a minute.
To 4.
Ira the weatherman, coach, has just said you're going to win 22-4. He knows nothing about football.
That is right.
Right. And now, Fuad, with everything that's happening.
I hope he's right. I hope he's right.
Now, what chance do you have on
Friday? Let's go Fordson Tractors. Let's go Fordson Tractors.
Yes. Now, Coach, this is an undefeated team. This is it Novi? Is that it?
Novi Catholic Central.
Right. What's your record last year, you guys?
We were a one-loss team last year. We made it to the playoffs, and we lost in the playoffs. And we were, I want to say, 11-1 or 10-1.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are a great team. Now, what about the non-Muslim kids on your team? What did they do when? I mean, they had to come and practice at 11 o'clock at night too?
Well, to be honest with you, what we did was we made sure that this was okay with everybody before we decided to do it. We made sure that, you know, we spoke to number one, our kids were first. So before we made a decision, we talked to the kids, you know, our student athletes. And after we did that, we went to the administration. We went to the superintendent. We went to, you know, the building administration. And once we got that approval, I made sure it was okay with the city. With the city officials and with the police department because of curfew issues. Once that was taken care of, then we sent letters home to the parents and to the neighbors. And I had my email, I had my phone number on there. And once we got started, it was all good to go. Everybody was okay with it, and we ran it.
It's a hard time to be a Muslim in America, isn't it?
You know, I don't know. I don't look at it that way. I mean, I believe in my faith, and I follow my faith, and our For the majority of them, they do the same thing, and it doesn't matter whether you're a Christian, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, or you don't even believe in God. If you're a good person, you're a good person, and that's all that matters as far as I'm concerned.
Now, do the kids, I mean, with all this crazy, has anybody called anybody names? Like, I'm from the South, and when black kids first started playing football and running track and everything, and I was in one of the first integrated schools, I mean, some bad shit went down. Do you have any guys ever call your kids names or say anything inappropriate when they're playing?
Yes, sir. It's happened before, and it still, happens. But, like I tell our kids, hey, it's just, we're out here. Let's play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Make sure that you play within the rules. And whatever happens from there. You just take care of what we can control, and that's all we need to do.
Okay. Is that how you were raised? Were you raised by a pretty calm mom and dad? Or, I mean, because you're pretty calm about it. I like your attitude, and I agree with it. And I think this will blow over.
Well, yeah, that's a credit to my folks. My parents are good people, and I feel they're very good people, and they've raised me a certain way. And I'm calm in these situations. I know how to, I think rationally, and I think with my head before I, react. But I think if you see me out on the field a little bit, you might not think I'm so calm.
What did you play when you played football? What position?
I played running back.
Running back. Okay. Did you play in college or just in high school?
Yes, I played at a Division II school, Grand Valley State.
I know it very well.
Yes.
And now you've been the head coach how long?
I've been the head coach for about 5 years.
Well, congratulations. Good luck on Friday night. I'm a former Catholic, so it's okay if you beat them, all right? All right. Now, here's another question.
I wish you all the very, very best.
I do,
Your
too.
team is going to go places.
Right, wait a minute. Do you guys have to stop to pray during practice?
No, sir. We don't do that.
Because they practice at night, Jay.
No, even during the day when you're practicing. Do you have to stop?
No. They have enough time to do that before they come or when they go home.
All right.
We don't do that.
Is that somebody yelling at the kids in the background?
We're actually getting practice started right now.
Oh, can we hear you yell and give them some drills and stuff?
I'm going to have to get off the phone to do that.
Well, can you blow your whistle before you go at least?
You got it. Let's get it going.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck Friday night. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Fuad. Thank you
very much.
Wow. Thank you. You know what? I like that guy a lot. You know what I mean?
He's a very, very nice guy.
Now, I noticed, Shuli, that you weren't a part of that interview. Were you is it impossible for you as a Jew to even speak to a Muslim? Is that your problem?
I walked right out. I boycotted that shit. I had to take this phone call with the promoters of these shows that I'm doing.
Really? Was the phone call about not allowing any Muslims into the
No, not at all.
Was that it? Okay.
Not at all. How dare you?
You know what? I wasn't about to say some of the things that you wanted me to say. Does the quarterback throw a lot of bombs?
Oh, we didn't ask him the pigskin question.
Call him back.
Jay, I told him correct.
Hold on.
His team.
Hold on. Call him back. Call him back. Call him back.
It never goes well when we call guests back.
Then ask them if they're playing the Crusaders next week.
Oh, come on, Shul.
Thank you, Ira.
Please.
Thank you, Ira. Boy, I'll tell you.
I don't know what happened to that guy.
Ira put you in your place.
Surely.
You have been put in your place, my friend. Oh my
you know that's the enemy, right, Ira?
That's not the enemy. That's what we're trying to stop.
Surely this man is
He's a good man.
Really? How long have you known him, Ira?
For a half hour.
Exactly.
Well, then I apologize.
He's not answering because I guess he's got the practice.
No, now all of a sudden he doesn't want to talk to us.
We'll find out. Let's go to Mark of Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Mark.
I'm on a few days off.
Yes.
For the Jewish holidays.
Oh, you're taking a few days off.
Yes,
I see.
yes. I'm sorry to say.
Well, I'm sorry to say.
We'll have to figure out how
we
to
can
survive.
have Laverne and daughter
fill in for you.
By the way, that's the new restaurant for him now. He's going to plug them forever.
Surely, you know, Laverne is a very, very
Shuli, he wants Laverne, author of Fellatio, the Forgotten Foreplay, Romancing the Cock, to take his place on Friday. Now, you're
That
there in
is
New
right.
York. You'll have to make that decision. And Kaisha. By the way, what was Kaisha? What were her teeth
First of all, was her name Takesha.
Takesha, what were her teeth like?
They were
Very
fine.
beautiful. Very
Beautiful teeth?
sweet.
Yeah, she's a nurse.
For a dick sucker, they were
Jay,
exceptional.
can I tell you one thing? This went off. That went off very, very nicely.
You know when
But,
somebody
like,
sucks their
because
thumb,
we
you know, and it
didn't
goes.
have anybody looking up to the sky. Looking up to the.
Oh yeah, you brought it up. Now,
Oh,
now
my
here's the thing.
God.
I thought she was gonna blow somebody on the show. How come she didn't suck anybody during the show?
She's like I said, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very, very decent person.
Well, I didn't say she wasn't decent, but Garrett, didn't you think there was going to be some sucking on Friday morning show? A little sucking.
I was hoping. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think decent, you think, Mr. Rogers, Captain Kangaroo.
Good person.
Neither of them wrote a book about, the art of fellatio. I'm
No,
not
they
saying
didn't.
she's a bad person. I'm just saying,
Right.
She's a very.
You know what's
very-
funny? Things we love,
like blowjobs.
Yeah, and erotic art, things that we absolutely love. Isn't it weird that somehow, and I don't know how it happened, it's been made dirty and forbidden? Is that is it like hatred? It must be taught, right, that it's bad?
Sure.
Because it's got to be. So if thousands of years ago they'd said, or whatever it was, they started turning it around, if they'd have said it was all good, you mean like when we would come in the room, we would just grab Christina, I'd grab your penis, I would put it up Kevin Kraft's
I'd prefer
ass.
if it was Christina grabbed my penis, but whatever, it's your scenario.
No, but I'm saying it would just, how would the
Anything
world
goes.
work?
Anything goes.
How would the world work if when I walked in, we were like dogs and I would smell your crotch and see how you were doing? And how would the world work?
Don't you think it would be the other way? Like we would be so used to seeing sex and being around it that we wouldn't be as titillated.
You know what's weird? My kids have been raised in this really wide open world, boys and girls. There's always been hugging and everything else at these schools they've been to, and they're lesbians or make it out on the front porch of the school and the whole. And when the little girls come over with the unbelievable outfits that'll just drive you nuts, right? I can't stay in the room. I've got to go in the back and put like frozen peas on my penis, right? They don't seem to see it like I see it. I would be going, I'd be biting every knuckle on my hand.
The first week I moved in with my girlfriend, her sister and niece came to visit for 2 days.
How old? Tell me how old.
16.
Oh, yeah.
She comes in with this low-cut tank top on and one of those terry cloth towel fabric shorts that are just like,
horrible.
Super tight and super
How about
short.
Juicy on the back? How about that one?
Pretty
My
much.
favorite.
And
Porn star, that's the other one.
I love them.
I was
Juicy.
so afraid of getting being caught looking down or something.
No, you got to go in the other room.
Yeah.
You got to have frozen peas in the
Jay.
freezer at all times.
Jay,
Yes, Ira.
16 will get you 20.
Yes, it will.
I love how you just completely turn from the mic right at the punchline. That really, nobody
Mark
does it
of-
like that.
Mark of Pennsylvania, what made you stop whatever you were doing to call us at
Good afternoon,
888-4-102?
Mark. Mark in
102.
Pennsylvania. It's
Over the
around
weekend.
70 degrees.
No, Ira, he knows that. What is it going to be at some other time?
Next week, Tuesday.
For the
Next
weekend,
Tuesday.
It's going to be around 87, 88 degrees.
All right.
I'm probably going to lose you because I'm going through a tunnel right now. But
That's okay. Hurry, Mark. Hurry. Go ahead. Fast.
What kind of uniforms did Muslim cheerleaders wear?
I don't know. What kind?
Well, that's what I wanted to find out. I mean, are they jumping around in burqas or what?
Yeah, their pom-poms are in burqas, too.
God, you know what? I did not conduct the interview properly. We need to get this guy back.
Jay.
All right, I'll get him back. We got to ask this question.
My body is a wonderland.
All right, thanks, Jay.
I don't know what that means. Your body is a wonderland.
The John Mayer song.
Fred of North Hollywood. Yes, Fred, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Fred?
I missed the question about the cheerleaders. I missed the question about the pigskin. I love football. I love this. When I heard he was 11-1, he was my Muslim, my guy.
You missed another important question.
What?
Well, I was wondering how the players keep their balance with those giant helmets they must use to put over the turbans. I don't get it.
No, they don't wear turbans. No, they don't wear turbans. The man doesn't have to wear a turban.
They don't?
No.
Well,
the women have to be covered, but the men.
I don't think that's Muslims. That's sheiks or
Sikhs.
Sheiks.
No, Sikhs. See, hey, you know what'd be funny?
I'm sorry, shake and bake. I'm thinking. Sorry.
Put a shake on your head.
It's strawberry. Don't spill it.
Thank you. All right. Well, we got to get Zabin, Fuad Zabin back as soon as we can.
Zabin with some pita.
By the way, this morning, if you live in the Los Angeles area, I was asked late last night if I could come to Los Angeles and go on to Channel 5. That's like the number one morning TV show, KTLA. And I hadn't been there. I had nothing to talk about, Shuli. Absolutely nothing to talk about. But they had me come on anyway. And when I got there, I'm getting made up, and I'm thinking, I drove 2 hours to do it. I'm thinking, Jesus, I don't have a TV show. I got the radio show. I can certainly talk about this, but I really have nothing to talk about. And then the guy says, well, we're going to ask you a question about pop culture or something, like whatever happened, some big headline. I went, oh, okay, all right, good. And then I'm sitting in the chair, and somebody comes in and says, oh, and we're also going to ask you about your documentary. That's what they said to me. Now, Shuli, I don't have a documentary planned.
Right.
Okay? So I had to hurry up and think of a documentary, right? So I'm thinking, it's got to be about the oil spill, right? That's the only documentary I know.
See, I would have come out of total left field. It's on duct tape.
No, but
wonders of it.
I don't know who she thought they'd booked, but I don't think it was me. So in a little while, Garrett will play my appearance this morning, and I'm gonna. And when you hear it, now listen to this one. They asked me about someone who was having a feud with Ryan Seacrest, right? And the guy they asked me about, I never heard of. So he said to me, "What do you think of?" What was the guy's name, Garrett?
I have no clue.
Taylor Nailard or Taylor Leonard, Taylor somebody. Well, now, shoot, I never heard of him. No, I know Taylor Negron very well. I can't believe you brought his name up.
I'm a big Taylor Negron fan.
One day, about 20 years ago,
Easy Money, greatest movie ever.
I am living in California, and I listened to a report on the radio about how in the wintertime in California, they don't have lifeguards at the beaches, and people go out and kill themselves. This is a true story. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I had just heard that report on some radio station. I swear to God. I'm driving on the Pacific Coast Highway. I lived in Malibu at the time. 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I'm not stoned or anything. I think I'm, just completely normal. And I stop, and I see a barefoot man running across the street, and he looks completely disheveled. I go, that's Taylor Negron. He looks depressed. And I decide that he is going to kill him. I swear to God. And, Robin Williams had introduced me to this great comic, Taylor Negron. This is the middle of the fucking night. I parked my car at the Roadhouse restaurant. There's no one around. And I run across the Pacific Coast Highway. Now, Taylor Negron thinks he's all by himself, right? And he runs out to the beach. And the next thing you know, I appear out of the darkness, right? And he goes, oh, like that. He goes, Jay, what are you doing? I go, Taylor, are you okay, man? He goes, yeah, man, I'm fine. I go, cause you're not good. He goes, what are you talking about? And I said, I heard this report today. And to this day, whenever he sees me, he goes, You know, Jay once saved my life, but I wasn't planning on killing myself.
Like in that show Arrested Development, this doctor goes and gives a man mouth to mouth who he thinks is dying, and he was just taking a nap in a chaise lounge over by the pool.
Well, here's another one with Taylor Negron. One night, I go over to Taylor Negron's house after I do, Bill Maher show.
Me.
Hold on one second.
You have a gray Negron.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So I meet this woman there, and the woman's name is Laura, right? And we smoke dope, and we have a fabulous time, and Laura's wild. We're having a big time, and I think Laura's brother's gay, and the whole thing. We're smoking dope. It was Laura Ingraham, the right-wing announcer, right? And every time I see her, I think, do her people know that she was smoking dope with the gay guy at the party in the middle of the night and all that? And, of course, you know why I can't tell anybody? Because my wife would kill me because I was, I shouldn't have been there, right? But yeah, she was like completely wild, I mean, over the top, fabulous, right? And then she became the right wing, whatever it was, so. Let's go to Bobby of Memphis. Yes, Bobby, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
Bobby, how's everything in Memphis?
It's cooler today. It's not 115 today. So.
Oh, beautiful. And you got beautiful hot weather.
Bobby, what do you know about Ryan Seacrest and this person?
He was talking about you this morning, and he played the interview. And apparently they were asking you about, Taylor
Lautner?
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't know who he was. And so
isn't that one of the Twilight douches?
Yes,
I don't know who the hell that is either. So.
Now, wait a minute. So the guy turns to me on this #1 TV show, and he says, Hey,
are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
What do you think of Ryan Seacrest and Taylor Lautner? Now, I don't know who they're talking about, so I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it. I think maybe it's an American Idol. So what I do is, Garrett, I've taught you this before. What do you do when in an interview you're asked about something specific and you don't know a thing about it? What do?
You make fun of the person?
You make fun of someone immediately.
Yeah.
You deflect whatever the question is, Shuli. And so I made fun of Ryan Seacrest.
And then it was a theme throughout the whole interview.
And then, of course, yes. So what did he say? What did Ryan say about me making fun of him?
He said, "Who's Jay Thomas?"
Oh, please.
He said, "Who's Jay Thomas?" And they said, "Well, he used to be a DJ."
Oh, please.
I've heard him say, "What's vagina?" before.
So you mean he got upset at what I said about him?
Actually, no, not really. He just didn't know who you were and why you were talking about him.
Hold on. That's total bullshit. I've known the prick for years. And, of course, he knows who I am. He was a disc jockey in the afternoon when I was on in the morning. What's he, like 13 suddenly? What, is he going backwards in life? All right. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. All right. So we'll play the interview in just a minute. But, Shuli, I immediately turn on Ryan Seacrest.
Of course. That's what you do.
No, but I didn't know who the other guy was. So
well, that's what I'm saying. You go to your go-to move, and he's an easy, that's easy pickings.
Jonathan of Michigan, yes, sir. Do you know this Muslim team that we talked about? The tractors, the
fucking awful name.
Yeah,
the Fordson tractor.
Well. Yeah, there are 3 public high schools in Dearborn, and the one in Fordson's the furthest east, if that has any ironic similarities to the Far East or the Middle East.
Right.
But East Dearborn in and of itself is probably, I would say, on a probably 6 or 7 square mile area, 95% Muslim. The 2 other schools are kind of on the western side of town, but because there are so many Muslims in East Dearborn, they bus them around to the other schools. So I know for a fact, just growing up in the area here, the only school that does this Ramadan thing, and it's a few years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, because I know that the Arab calendar is a little bit different, they did the same thing, and it was a big deal. And now they're covering it a little bit more just because of recent times. But it's crazy. The two other schools don't do it. And when you ask them, are there any other non-Muslims on the team, or atheists or Christians or whatever, I don't think that there are, Jay. I think the whole team's Muslim.
Well, now, the guy couldn't have been nicer and couldn't have been more modern and everything else. I mean, he sounded really, really cool. What attracted the Muslims to Dearborn?
Back in the 50s and the 60s, we had a mayor named Orville Hubbard. And one of the things that he wanted...
Hold on. Put him on hold. Let's go around the horn. Put him on hold. Let's go around the horn. Okay, hold on.
I don't even need your question. Here's my answer. Popcorn. Next.
What was his name? His name was Melvin Hubbard.
Orville Hubbard.
Orville Hubbard. What is it, Garrett, that attracted the Muslims to Dearborn? What is it?
Oh, God.
What could it have been?
Jeez.
What could Orville Hubbard have done?
Here's my second guess.
What?
The women were so ugly in Dearborn that they already had them in burqas anyways. So they figured, it's just like home.
All right, Christina, the moist one. What do you think attracted? What did Orville Hubbard, the mayor of Dearborn, how did he attract them, the Muslims?
This is a rough one.
It is a tough one.
Rough one.
He said Muslim traps.
Sheila, you're on fire suddenly.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't imagine. It had to be some business, right?
With his tractor?
Well, no. It had to be like PETA. It had to be a PETA machine that he made. Brand new PETA machine. Ira, what do you think the Muslims were attracted to Dearborn?
Muslims were attracted
to what?
To everything.
They were just attracted to everything. All right.
Everything.
Let's go back to Jonathan of Michigan. Jonathan, you have completely stumped. They couldn't even think of silly answers. Right. You have stumped us as we've gone around the horn here. Is it PETA machines? Is it that the women were already so ugly they were wearing burqas anyway? What's the answer, Jonathan?
That one's fantastic, and I might want to go with that. But really, the real story is...
1 second, Ira.
Dearborn is right next to Detroit, and the Orville was such a bigot, and this is a true story, that he did everything in his power not to have the blacks come into the city of Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did is I don't know if there was incentives for other minorities to come into the city, but by and large, Dearborn has the largest Middle Eastern population in the continental United States next to the Middle East.
And so he did not want blacks, so he made it just a wonderland for the Muslim. Now, of course, has he ever heard of the black Muslim? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I think that probably threw him for a loop, and he probably didn't know what the hell he was going to do. Plus, his name was Orville, so... But
I wonder what he did, though. I mean...
Phil Otto has a great guess.
What is it?
Orville Hubbard hung a Jew.
No, he didn't. What, Ira? What is it?
Bing, bang, Ramadan, a ding dong.
No, you can't do that. That's inappropriate.
They want to build a mosque in the cafeteria?
No, they don't. All right, Jonathan of Michigan, thank you very much. Everybody, stay where you are. Oh, my God.
I love that it ended in a question.
You know what? When Jay Thomas is booking his big Sirius show, and you have that staff,
sure,
and they call the stars, the stars say,
they say no, and then we're on Sirius, so we curse them out. But you know what? This guy Laudner is going to get more publicity from not going on the show.
Yeah.
It sounds like they sat around and said, let's not go on. And you know, Ryan, radio does this, Seacrest, he's getting puffy. He's getting a little puffy.
You know what? He's literally going to play that clip on his radio show.
I'm puffy too. I know. Look, you're puffy. Radio gets you puffy.
He's going to go kill himself.
Makes you puffy. You puff up.
No, really? You think that's true?
Oh, Rick D is puffy. Everybody gets puffy.
Why do you think that? Do you think it's all? Because do you think
sitting?
sitting in.
You're puffed, you're sitting, you're drinking, you're puffed.
I never did this, but people have giant, those 64-ounce things from 7-Eleven of Diet Coke.
Exactly. A lot of it, sometimes it's bourbon.
There we
sometimes
look.
it's vodka. Puffy.
He doesn't know
Look how
the
thin he
Puffy.
looks there when he was on the red carpet. Puffy, and the hair was starting to go weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? You know what? Now
That's all I do now. Now that I'm puffy and my hair is weird, I just talk about other people who are puffy with weird hair.
But when
The city of Dearborn, Michigan, under the mayor, Orville, what's Orville's last name?
Redenbacher.
Orville who?
Hubbard.
Under Orville Hubbard, all I could find out is there were 90,000 white people and 20, not 20,000, 20 black people. Okay? So Orville was so frightened that now he was a segregationist, I would imagine.
Or he just wanted enough for a basketball team.
No. Richard of Dearborn, did you live under the mayorship of Orville Hubbard?
He was long gone by the time I came around, but I did hear rumors that he was not a fan of the blacks. That is correct.
And he did what did he do to get the Muslims to move to that area? It is the largest concentration of Arab Americans in the United States.
That is correct. But what happened was they came to work for Henry Ford because Dearborn is the home of Henry Ford. That's where the Ford Motor Company started, right there.
Right,
and they came to work for Henry Ford. It wasn't Orville Hubbard that.
So the Muslims were there a long time ago? No.
Oh yeah. For I'd say 80 years. Plus.
So that Muslim population is the wow, I did not know that. I had no idea. So somehow Henry Ford got them to come.
That's correct.
Well, what did Orville think of Muslims?
I have a quote.
What?
Don't have an answer for that.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. What's the quote?
As Middle Easterners began moving to Dearborn, he said, "The Syrians are even worse than the."
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And what's he basing that on? Really? Is there a series of surveys he's taken?
Now, what did he do during the riots? Didn't he have riots in Detroit? 1 second, Ira. Didn't he have riots in Detroit?
There's other memorable statements on race. He once examined the bullet-ridden body of a black man and called it an open-shut case of suicide. He was once quoted as saying, "I'm not a racist, but I just hate those black bastards."
He said that in public?
I've heard that.
Ira, quiet.
1967 Detroit riots. Hubbard ordered Dearborn police to shoot looters on sight.
Well, all right.
That's true, I'm sure.
Jay,
wow. Yes, Ira.
You're all wrong. Hubble invented the telescope, and he hated Mexicans.
No, that's Hubble. That's not Hubbard. That Ira, he's a nut. Well, Richard, do you live in Dearborn right now?
Yes, I do.
Is that a good football team?
The Tractors are pretty good. They kicked my high school around.
The Tractors. They call them the Tractors.
Yes, the Fortson Tractors. Pretty close to where I grew up, but went to a different high school.
Okay. And Richard, are you of the Muslim faith?
I am not. Even though they are very good people in Dearborn, no hostility in Dearborn, I must say.
Sure. And you haven't had anybody. Now, wait a minute. Where did the shoe bomber come from? Was he from Detroit?
I don't believe so.
I think he landed there, right?
He landed in Detroit.
That's where he got his ass beat.
Richard Reed. Hmm? Yeah, Richard Reed.
Jay,
yes,
didn't the Tractors play the Harlem Globetrotters?
No, they didn't.
Those are generals.
I'm looking at a statue, probably bigger than life size, of Orville in Dearborn.
They have a statue of this bigot.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, in the library, I believe.
Wow.
Orville Hubbard.
Yeah, odds are that was one place he never fucking walked into was the library.
What? For white eyes only, it ought to say on it. You know? All right, thank you, Richard of Dearborn. By the way, we've just received an amazing message at Jay Thomas Show. Do I give out this email address? No.
jthomasshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
jthomasshow@gmail.com. Susan Cooper. Well, Jay, Garrett is correct. It is true. There were naked people in the doorways at MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, but you had to go to a special floor for that exhibit.
Yeah.
And here is a little bit of a trivia question. Now, I'm going to go around the horn with this. During this live nude exhibit, one of the nudes had to be removed. Let's go around the whole horn, according to Susie. Why, Shuli, did they have to remove one of the live nude exhibits?
Wasn't groomed properly.
Wasn't groomed properly. Good answer. Christina, why do you think they had to remove, according to Susan Cooper, one of the nude art pieces?
Inappropriate erection.
Inappropriate erection. Ira the Weatherman, why do you think they took one of the naked art pieces out?
Because it wasn't that great.
It wasn't good enough to look at. I see. It was an ugly person. Garrett, what do you think?
Ass pimples.
Ass pimples. It is. Christina is correct on this one. Jay, they had to replace one of the males because he kept getting excited, and his dick would stick out, and as people would try to squeeze between them, the guy's penis would touch their back or their side or whatever, and they had to keep sending him on break, and it broke the since it wasn't a piece of art, it broke everyone's concentration as his penis. And one woman was having a cup of coffee, and she hit the top of it with a spoon to get it down. Susie, thank you. And Jay, if you don't believe me, it was reported in the New York newspapers. Susan, I certainly do believe you. My God. Woo. Wow.
I heard the chick across from him just put on a Kirstie Alley mask, and then everything was fine.
Jay, this show is top rated.
Really?
You should have another
show.
2 more hours till Pharrell comes on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Keep reading word for word.
That was
him.
That was him speaking.
Ron of Chicago. Yes, Ron, it's Jay Thomas. How are you?
Hey, Jay. I'm kind of confused. I was listening to the radio, and you were talking about Dearborn, and then I called up, and then you was talking about dicks. I mean, what
they don't go hand in hand over there?
Well, it was two entirely different conversations, Ron. And I think the next time you get a little cocktail or whatever you're doing, maybe keep the radio up a little louder, and you'll hear the transition. I transitioned. All right?
Hey,
I
you
totally
got any Muslims down there in New Orleans, Jay?
I'll tell you the only thing I remember about Muslims, and it happened to me, there was some sort of this was about 10 years ago, I guess, or whenever we attacked, I guess, they attacked Kuwait or whatever, and George H.W. sent the troops in, right? And I'm in New Orleans, and I had on a Tulane T-shirt, and I'm at the the New Orleans Athletic Club, and I am on a bench, and a guy comes up to me and sticks his head, and he says, "Hey, man, are you from Iraq?" So he says to me.
To you?
Yes. He says, somebody told me you were an Iraqi. Now, here's what's weird. I said I'm not. I wanted to hit that guy with the dumb. If I could have gotten my hands, you know what? To even feel that kind of fear and discrimination, I mean it. If he'd have said, "Are you a Jew? Are you an Iranian?" I wanted to hit him in the head with a goddamn fucking dumbbell.
I told you about a job interview.
These rednecks would go around and beat the shit out of Indians, not knowing that they were from India.
Right.
Saying they were Muslim.
Right.
And the Indians were... So, yeah, we had some Muslim people in Louisiana, but they were safe because the idiots that live there don't know the difference in the nationalities.
And it's tough to make a statement when you're getting stomped,
Yeah.
And I told you I went on a job interview once in Vegas where the guy says, "So you're born in Israel?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "So you're going to be taking a lot of those holidays you guys take off?" Well, you're taking off a shitload. And I looked across from him. I'm like, you know
Thanks,
what?
Ron.
If I didn't need this fucking job, I would slide across this desk right at him.
As soon as I know someone's being discriminated against, I get mad, even though I do discriminatory things and make jokes and everything else. But as soon as I'm in that situation, it just,
You
I
see,
want to just
Jay,
club
the
this
bad
guy.
thing about it is
What?
people like to discriminate to other people.
Well, it's fun to discriminate.
God darn good.
It isn't. John of Connecticut. Yes, John, go ahead.
How you doing, John?
What do you
John,
think about
you're
this
the
Glenn
greatest.
Beck idiot putting up having a demonstration on the Lincoln Memorial on the day of fucking Martin Luther King's "I've Had a Dream" speech?
To be honest, I would have a lot to say, but Glenn Beck is now a part of the Sirius XM family.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And in every family, as you know, Shuli, you have relatives, you have people that may or may not agree, or you may or may not find interesting or whatever. I have been asked not to comment on Glenn Beck.
Really?
Could
I comment?
I don't think you ought to.
Please, Shuli.
Well, I was just gonna say that.
I mean, Howard does all kind, but there are every now and again a rule or two that's passed down to me that says, we got the guy over here and he says all kind of provocative shit, and I know you talk about him and everything else, but so I mean, go ahead.
I think that Rush Limbaugh will be at Glenn Beck's stupid goddamn demonstration because Rush isn't part of Sirius.
You're damn right he ain't.
No,
Well,
Rush
depends-
won't be there because it's
Depends
not
how many
his
pills
party.
will be around there.
No, it's Glenn Beck and it's Sarah Palin. Yeah.
He's a cokey.
Yeah.
Rush Limburg?
Rush
Limburg?
Limburg's a cokie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rush Limburg
That's
is
good
cokie. Is a cokie.
You know what? Maybe Ira should just comment on Glenn Beck. What are your thoughts?
No.
Glenn Beck is a
I'll tell you, look.
fine person.
Here's what's funny. I really feel as though, and I really think that they say it's not and all that, but there's millions of dollars at stake with these people, all of them, everybody, left, right, and everything else. So you sit around and you go, what can we do that's provocative, that makes us richer and advances, what people think of us? And so this is provocative. There's nothing against it. If he wants to demonstrate. But now, everybody's assuming he's going to do something racist. I don't think he's doing
I don't think
anything
he's going to do anything racist.
I don't think so either.
Stupid.
He's just doing it where Martin Luther King gave the famous
And I've
speech.
told you this off the air, and I'll say it on the air. I'm not going to shy away from this. Watching my wife give birth was a lot like watching his show. It was frightening at times. I was confused, and I'm not really sure what a chalkboard was doing in there. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Jay,
Yes.
Ray Perlman is either a Muslim or a tractor.
Rhea Perlman is either a Muslim or a tractor. Is that what you just said?
That is right.
That's right. Now, here's the strange thing. And this is about Sarah Palin and the Tea Partiers and the whole thing. All these people are screaming about saving the nation and the this and that. A lot of them are saying they want to phase out Social Security.
They won't, Jay, because know why? We are going to have rallies in Washington, D.C.
I know you are, but listen, they want to phase out Social Security. They want to phase out unemployment. They want to phase out food stamps. They want to phase out whatever. I got to tell you, there are many more people now that ever had to since the
I'm glad
1929.
they didn't phase out my wallet.
I know. Here's the thing: if they vote these people in and they start phasing out Social Security, and most of the people you see in these rallies, they look like they're taking some money from something.
Sure.
The pension, the whole thing. So go ahead, vote for them, you fucking idiots, and let them. Personally, I want Social Security. I'll take food stamps. I'll take, whatever you give me, I'll take. I don't give three shits what my kids have to pay in the future. I mean, why am I so different than anybody else? I mean, Shuli, do you really think you're going to leave your little girl with some horrible debt she can't pay?
Right now, maybe.
Yeah.
But in a few years, who knows? Maybe I'll be making something where that won't happen.
I mean, as a country.
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
She's fucked. Oh,
no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not. No.
Jay,
you know what? Just don't pay. That's all.
Oh, hey, I'm down
My
with that.
brother doesn't pay for anything. The
Right.
bills could come all day and all night. You think my brother goes, oh, I'm worried about the future. I'm going to pay. No, fuck no. Just don't pay it.
Yeah, you're right. Screw it. Who gives a
Tell the
shit?
Chinese, hey, I know we owe you like $3-4 trillion. See ya. You know,
Jay,
too bad. Yes,
Glenn Beck taught me everything I don't know.
On oh boy, on that one, we'll go away and come back. I will tell you a crazy thing. How much time do we have, Garrett? A couple of minutes?
4.5.
Okay, good. The number one, or like one of the top cadets at West Point, top student, top cadet, was going to be like a tank commander or something. It's a woman, Shuli. She has been forced to resign because she anonymously had a blog because she was a lesbian. So she would anonymously blog under an assumed name and everything else. Someone found out about it. And they turned her in. And
people turning in golfers, tank captains.
Yeah,
like,
she
what
was
the fuck?
She was confronted, and they said, "Are you whatever this anonymous
Nation of
name
rats?
Is? Are you, lickety split or whatever she called herself?" And she said, "I'm a soldier and a cadet, and yes, that's me, but I was." And they said, "Okay, you're out of school," and she had to resign. She was in her third year. She will not graduate. She will not be in the Army. She will not serve her country.
That's fucked up.
She did nothing in a disciplinary infraction way. She has the highest qualifications. Her last name is Miller. I don't know what her first name is. I'll have to find it. I got to tell you something. What better soldier than, wouldn't you love to be led into battle by a big bull dyke?
Let me tell you
just
something.
Running up the hill.
One of the greatest pedophile jokes I've ever heard was told to me by a tank captain from the Israeli army who was a woman.
A pedophile joke?
It's brutal. It is a joke.
Well, I don't want to.
I'm not saying it on the air, but it's one of those jokes. Like, I've used it before when like a crowd groans at like a real
Can you just
lame
say the
joke.
punchline?
No, because the punchline's actually visual.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those jokes where if a crowd groans at something really like lame that they think they're offended by, I go, all right, I'm going to tell you something right now that's going to make you love that last joke. And they're all looking at me like, yeah, whatever, yeah. And you hit that punchline, and it's as if a bat just hit everyone in the audience in the stomach at the same time. Just the
Put
air.
that at Jew Gone Wild. Now listen, she's out of the service, and they're talking about, now there's a bunch of Marines that they're thinking that they're lesbians too. And I started thinking, when's the last time you heard of a rape in the Army or the Marine Corps? Because they're lesbians, right? So the guys aren't that interested in them, right? And they've got a bunch of tank commanders, they got a bunch of pilots, everything else. I mean, you join the Army to blow shit up and to kill people. And I don't know what they're doing. I don't know but what do you want somebody who's afraid to break a fingernail or something? What else? What other kind of woman would you want in the armed services? I mean, you can have a straight woman, but would you follow a lesbian into battle?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I would follow.
Let me tell you something. If I watch a chick play softball and she runs to second, and then I see a chick playing and she slides head first in the second, I'm following Becky Hustle. That's who I'm following. Head first slide. Because that's what she's sliding into the bedroom, too. Head first, right into that thing.
Of course, she's immediately been booked on the Rachel Maddow show.
Shay, the weekend of Labor Day is a very, very important day for me.
Yes.
I am
giving labor.
Let me end this show with, and by the way, if you're a hog, don't blog. If you're a hog, don't blog.
I'll be in Long Island this weekend.
All right.
ComedyToGoInc.com. Hop Hog, Long Island. Friday night.
Think Ira just goes home yelling in the subway like this?
He does it in the elevator. Why not?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Jay, what a great show.
Thank you, Ira.
You got 15 seconds, Ira.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep going. 10, 8, 7,
6, 5,
Put on the music.
4, 3, he's counting down. 2, 1.